Hello and welcome to Microsoft Ignite. We've got a big day ahead and lots in store for you. First, we want to acknowledge that the land where the Microsoft campus is situated was traditionally occupied by the Sammamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie, the Suquamish, the Muckleshoot, the Snohomish, the Tulalip, and other Coast Salish peoples since time immemorial. A people that are still here, continuing to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. My name is Allison Wines. I'm a senior program manager in our developer tools division. I'm an Asian and white female with dark brown hair wearing a red sleeveless top.
And I'm Seth Juarez, program manager in the AI platform group. I'm a tall Hispanic male wearing a blue shirt, khaki pants. Today we kick off 2 days of learning more about the latest solutions, exploring how these key innovations can empower you to do great things, and connecting with peers from around the world.
We are just moments away from our headliners, a keynote from Satya Nadella and core theme sessions from Jared Spataro, Scott Guthrie, and Vasu Jakal. These keynotes will bring us the latest in modern work, security, the cloud, and so much more.
And those are just the tip of the iceberg as our deep dive series, Microsoft Ignite into Focus, brings together key Microsoft leaders, developers, and engineers to break down these new features and themes.
In fact, our first Microsoft Ignite into Focus is coming up right after this morning's keynote and core theme sessions. I'll be sitting down with industry insiders Mary Jo Foley, Paul Thurrott, and Eli Knasser as they give us their take on the latest news and announcements.
Lucky. In the meantime, take a moment to check out the Learning Zone. If you're looking to skill up or are interested in exploring a new area of certification, you're going to want to take a look at what the Learning Zone has to offer, including the Microsoft Ignite Cloud Skills Challenge. This fan-favorite challenge will have you earning a free certification in no time. Simply complete at least one of the Microsoft Cloud Solution modules, and you're there. It's that easy. Speaking of easy, learning is made easy with Learn Live sessions. These 14 sessions across the event feature experts guiding you through training modules step by step. Told you it was easy.
And if you're new to the industry or looking to make your next career move, make sure to check out our Intro to Tech sessions. These sessions highlight key areas with real-world examples and are a great introduction to areas of IT you may not have considered before. If you've got training or Microsoft certification questions you need answered, find the Ask the Expert sessions in your session scheduler and enjoy.
And right next to the Learning Zone is the Connection Zone. So many of us are looking to connect with community in a meaningful way, and the Connection Zone is the place to do just that. Whether you want to talk through industry trends in table topics or want to give your insights into the products you use every day, there is something for everyone in the Connection Zone.
Now try saying top industry trends and table topics 3 times fast. Plus, backed by popular demand is the Humans of IT series. These innovative sessions look to showcase inspirational humans and engaging stories to help us all navigate the tech industry. They're fun and a great way to add a little sunshine to your event. But of course, that's not all. We've got one-to-one consultations, local connections, and much, much more. Check out the Connection Zone for more details.
And remember to keep it right here throughout the event. We'll have interviews with experts, bring key insights, and show you how to get the most out of Microsoft Ignite. We've got a lot in store.
For those who have joined us for past digital or in-person events, welcome back. For any new attendees joining us today, welcome to Microsoft Ignite. We hope you enjoy your time learning and connecting throughout the event. The myignite.microsoft site has everything you'll need, including one of the most important features of the site, the session scheduler. For more on that, let's throw it over to Seth with the download.
All right, we've got this marvelous new Surface Studio to show off the session scheduler. You can find it conveniently placed at the top of the MyIgnite site. You can see if you go to Sessions and Backpack, I'm using my fat finger, which works. There is the session schedulers. You can find sessions from partners like Checkpoint, VMware, and Logitech. And if you like what you see in those sessions, make sure you visit our featured partners showcase. Connection Zone sessions, you can see a Connection Zone over here, but some of the Connection Zone sessions are special sessions that you have to RSVP. Yeah, you have to RSVP, right?
Ooh, okay. We should RSVP to a few.
And you can do that, and then you can also save to Backpack, which is pretty cool. You can even save people to Backpack. So if you look for me, stuff me in your backpack.
Are you going to fit?
Oh, yes. I'm actually in between belt loops on the way down, so I've been having to pull my pants up a little bit.
We'll just add a little jump.
Yeah,
and you'll fit right in.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Tuck your elbows.
So make sure, for sure, there's some that are in your session scheduler. Satya's keynote is coming up next, so make sure to have that one as well. All right, and there you have it. And remember, once the event wraps, that same digital backpack with all of the session information, videos on demand, and additional resources can be downloaded for future viewing.
With sessions like that and you, Seth, I think my digital backpack is full.
Indeed.
But that's not the only thing in store for attendees here at Microsoft Ignite. In fact, I hear you got a chance to check out another event destination, Seth.
I sure did. One word, selfies. Check this out. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like this show has a little, too much of this guy, a little too much Seth? Well, thanks to the Create Zone, you can change that. That's right. Instead of me, we could see you. Just head over to the Create Zone tab on the My Ignite site and check out all the things you can do. It's so easy. Choose an experience, make a super fun animated selfie, or record a short video and then share it on LinkedIn or Twitter. It's so easy, even I could do it. The Create Zone, it's all about you.
One of the reasons you're here is to make new connections and find ways to accelerate your projects. To help you do that, we are excited to bring you exclusive content from a select group of valued partners during these next 2 days. These partners are joining us here at Microsoft Ignite to share their biggest announcements, latest solutions, and most important learnings of the year.
That's right. We made it easy for you to connect with these partners in ways that will have the biggest impact to your business. Search our session catalog for the Microsoft partners and topics most relevant to you. Just some of the big names participating in the breakouts and Connection Zone sessions are NVIDIA, Intel, Poly, Rubrik, Cisco, and IBM. And stay with us for interviews with technical experts from those same partners plus others.
Yes, and be sure to click the Featured Partners drop-down at the top to access more great partner content. You'll see our brand new Partner Stories page, which hosts a playlist of truly inspiring customer stories. And in addition to that, we have our Featured Partner Showcase. Visit each of our partners throughout the show to discover useful resources, product offers, and even more customer stories curated just for you.
Speaking of partners, we can always count on Intel to bring us heaps of exciting news here at Microsoft Ignite. This year, that includes the launch of the Luxonis Oak D Lite, second generation of the world-class spatial AI platform born out of a partnership between OpenCV, Microsoft, and Intel. Before the show, I caught up with Luxonic's CEO, Brandon Gillis, to get the skinny on the new Oak D Lite and why they decided to re-architect it from the ground up. Check it out. Brandon, I'm a huge fan of computer vision, and I'm excited to see that you're on the second generation of the OpenCV AI kit, the Oak D Lite. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole purpose of the OpenCV AI kit is to give everyone the power of spatial AI in an easy to use package where you can go and use computer vision without all the encumbrances of dealing with libraries and all of that pain. With the original OakD, the main feedback that we got was, yeah, this is great. Like we can get up and running solving our problem. But the second feedback we got was, well, it's a little too big, it's a little too heavy, and it's definitely too expensive for us to scale this. So we took that and we refined everything. We re-architected from the ground up, actually, to build a device with the technical insights we got from OakD that was low enough cost, small enough, and light enough that folks could solve these problems and solve them at scale. And that culmination is the OakD Lite device.
And so for those that haven't seen the OakD or don't understand what it is, the AI is actually running on the device. Can you give us some insight there?
Yeah, absolutely. So in solving real world problems, so problems that interact with the physical world, not just parsing some database on the cloud, you need depth perception in almost all cases. When you're interacting with the world, when it's a mobile platform, you need some form of intelligence to know what things are. And then often you need computer vision to tie all of this together. So what OakD Lite does is it gives you human-like depth perception. It's actually in some respects more capable than human depth perception. It can run at 200 frames per second, or about 30. It has artificial intelligence, so you can run object detectors, semantic segmenters, so you can understand what things are in the world and where they are in the world. And then the computer vision to tie it all together, so you can run things like edge filters and other classical computer vision, which our eyes naturally do. So you can get to the point where you're mimicking human-like perception in a tiny device that all runs on the camera.
That's, super impressive. I know you've partnered with OpenCV, Intel, and Microsoft in the past around spatial AI challenges, and you just wrapped up the 2021 challenge. I know this because I met the Cortic Tigers. Anything new in the works, my friend?
Yes. So we are doing a challenge around manufacturing solutions. In this competition, teams will have the chance to apply, and 50 teams will be given OakD Lights and a box of goodies that will allow them to build an industrial solution without having access to full industrial or the risk of dealing with all of that industrial equipment. So the solutions will be built with world-class computer vision and spatial AI, world-class tools, software tools from Microsoft, but then based on Legos. So you can quickly permute and prototype and build your solution. And the winners among those 50 teams, the final winners, will be showcased at Microsoft Build.
I'm super excited about that. I have my own, actually, myself, and I'm excited to see what the community builds. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
All right, it's pretty cool. I have it right here, actually. You can take a look at the device. It's super tiny. It does all of the AI directly on board. For more, here we go. For more, make sure to visit the Intel Showcase on the page above. Thank you so much. All right, we're moments away from our keynote and core theme sessions. Those presentations revolve around key themes you'll see again and again. They're important touch points to help you navigate your experience throughout the event.
And remember to stick around after the core theme sessions for our very first Microsoft Ignite Into Focus as our panel of industry experts break down the latest news and announcements coming right around the corner.
All right, coming up, we've got Microsoft Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Satya Nadella to kick things off. This is Microsoft Ignite.
Good morning and welcome to Ignite. It's great to be with you all today. Looking back, there is no question that the past year and a half has been a catalyst for real structural change across every industry, from adoption of telehealth in healthcare, digital wallets in financial services, curbside pickup, contactless shopping in retail, and much beyond. The case for digital transformation has never been more urgent. Digital technology is a powerful deflationary force in an inflationary economy. Businesses, small and large, can improve their productivity as well as the affordability of their products and services by building tech intensity. But you don't come to these events just to hear about what happened or what is happening. You're asking what will happen in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years and what you need to do to prepare your organization. How you sell, how you support customers, how you market, how you manufacture, how you connect with your employees. It's all undergoing a sea change. Fundamentally, we're moving from a mobile and cloud era to an era of ubiquitous computing and ambient intelligence. An era which will experience more digitization over the next 10 years than the last 40. This conference is your opportunity to get a sense of what will happen over the next decade so that you can help your organization navigate this change and emerge stronger. This is both a tremendous opportunity and an enormous responsibility. So let's talk about the trends that are transforming every company. It starts with a new world of hybrid work. We are seeing change in how we work, when we work, and where our work gets done. More and more people are also asking that very fundamental question, why we work. This leads to two challenges, that what we call the hybrid paradox and the great reshuffle. 70% of the employees want more flexible remote work options, and about the same number also say that they want more in-person connection. 58% of the people who expect to spend most and the least time in the office tell us they plan to do so for the very same reason. More focused work. More people are changing jobs than ever before. When it comes to hybrid work, there is no standard and flexibility will be key. Productivity and flexibility, though, are not mutually exclusive. Every organization needs a new digital fabric for collaboration that brings together both digital and physical spaces. They need to strengthen connections between employees and their company's mission, between employees and their managers, and empower employees to ensure their own well-being and exercise their flexibility without sacrificing any career advancement. For some time, we've been talking about hybrid work in the abstract, but now it's right at our doorstep, and the world won't be able to scale to this transition without all of you. The second trend is building a hyper-connected business. A sweeping business process transformation is underway. Over the past year and a half, we talked about how we had to pivot sales, customer service, manufacturing to be remote ready. Going forward, this will just be built in by design. When it comes to your suppliers, having supply chain resilience will be key. When it comes to your customers, having omni-channel reach and service will be paramount importance. We need that next level of real-time hyperconnectivity between businesses and between consumers and businesses, where data and intelligence flow freely to tackle the challenges of supply and demand. In fact, by 2025, it's projected that sales and marketing processes will involve more proactive engagements than reactive ones, all the way from customer marketing to supply chain. Going forward, every business process will be collaborative, powered by data and AI, and will bridge the digital and physical worlds. The third trend is that every business is becoming a digital business, and building your own digital capability will be of paramount importance. This requires that you have the best multi-cloud, multi-edge infrastructure. And it requires that you have the best tooling to support fusion teams across the organization who are working together to build new solutions. Computing is becoming distributed and embedded in the real world. And the application models are transforming rapidly to run on the edge with new ambient intelligent capabilities. The percentage of industrial control systems that will include analytics and AI inference capabilities at the edge will increase by 6-fold in the next 4 years. And students and teachers, data analysts and scientists have all seen rapid growth on GitHub. Going forward, every organization will need a more distributed, more intelligent, more autonomous computing fabric, one that they can use to rapidly build, manage, and deploy applications anywhere. And they will need new tools that bring together both pro developers and domain experts. And the final trend is the need to protect everything with end-to-end security. Cybersecurity is the biggest threat to digital transformation today, and it's the number one risk facing every business going forward. If you think about the amount of change during the pandemic that our IT and cyber operations had to go through as every business process became remote, this complexity will only increase. Cybercrime is also costing economies more than $6 trillion each year, and that's expected to increase to $10 trillion by 2025. Every organization needs comprehensive tools across identity, security, compliance, privacy, as well as management. And they need a cross-platform multi-cloud zero trust architecture. The Microsoft Cloud was built for this next era, and it's what you're going to hear about over the next few days. The Microsoft Cloud is the only cloud to help you navigate these converging secular trends. The Microsoft Cloud is the most trusted and comprehensive cloud. The Microsoft Cloud powers every organization's digital capability while ensuring their independence and sovereignty over it. The Microsoft Cloud is built on trust and security. The Microsoft Cloud is sustainable. And when we talk about sustainability, it's not just about our carbon footprint of our own data centers, but creating an entirely new business process category to help every organization address this very urgent need. We want to enable you to set and meet your own sustainability goals, providing you with the tools to track your own carbon footprint across all of your operations. In the years to come, I believe digital capability building around sustainability will be as critical for businesses as, say, CRM for sales and ERP for finance is today. And finally, the Microsoft Cloud offers the best integration across the entirety of the tech stack while offering openness at every layer. This is so important. The Microsoft Cloud helps orchestrate all of your heterogeneous digital investments across every layer of the tech stack. This week at Ignite, we're introducing more than 90 new services and updates. In our hybrid work keynote, Jared Spataro will talk about our innovation across Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365. And just like Teams has transformed collaboration and productivity, Microsoft Loop is the next big breakthrough in Microsoft 365. Loop's a new application for a communications-first and AI-first world. We're composing people's content, comments, chats, reactions, and live business process data even together into a new collaborative canvas. And we are reimagining how anyone can contribute directly in the flow of their work, whether it's from a chat, email, meeting, or a document. During our business applications keynote, Alyssa Taylor will talk about the new Microsoft Customer Experience Platform, which puts organizations in complete control of their own customer data. Going forward, this will be so key. Every business will need to have autonomy over their data estate and how it's being used in order to enhance their customer relations. During our app dev and infrastructure keynote, Scott Guthrie will share how we're making it easier for everyone to innovate across hybrid and multi-cloud environments with exciting new capabilities of Azure Arc. Arc is the first of its kind control plane, extending Azure security, governance, dev tools, and managed Azure services to any infrastructure, whether it's on-premise, multi-cloud, or at the edge. And he will share how we are bringing business domain experts together with professional developers to solve problems faster than ever before using Power Platform. And during our security keynote, Vasu Jakal will share how we're building end-to-end solutions that span all clouds and all platforms, including for small and medium-sized businesses with the new Defender for Business. And there's much, much more. But I want to highlight 3 emerging areas that cut across all of these themes. Let's start with AI. One thing underlying everything is how large-scale AI models are becoming platforms in their own right, creating that ambient intelligence all around us. This means that we are taking the AI breakthroughs and translating them into platforms for you to build upon, whether it's deploying intelligent agents to speed up customer service or extracting insights from volumes of unstructured data. We have seen how Fortune 500 are using Azure to power their own most critical workloads. And we are innovating to expand the possibilities of the cloud and what cloud computing can do. 5 years ago, here at Ignite, we shared with you the world's first AI supercomputer. And today, we have the most powerful AI supercomputer in the world. Customers are using this infrastructure to address these massive challenges. AMD, for example, used it to design the next generation processor with tens of billions of transistors on each chip. Researchers at the Eindhoven University of Technology in Netherlands have run large-scale simulations on the Ansys cloud platform, which is hosted on Azure, to better understand how COVID-19 can be spread by aerosol particles in a highly populated area like a stadium. We also have built the fundamental software capabilities to build and train large-scale models. Just a few weeks ago, together with NVIDIA, we announced the Megatron Turing natural language generation model, the largest and the most powerful monolithic transformer model trained to date with 530 billion parameters. It offers unmatched accuracy across a very broad set of natural language tasks. And we've also trained Z-Code, a multilingual model that combines several languages so that individual languages can learn from each other with much lower data requirements than ever before. And you will continue to see us take these incredible breakthroughs like these and turn them into new capabilities for our customers, whether it's speech transcription, speech translation in PowerPoint, or now 100+ languages and dialects we support in Microsoft Translator. Our partner OpenAI has released GPT-3, which is a breakthrough natural language understanding and generation model. Over the past 6 months, we have taken the power of these models and made them available across our products, giving, for example, domain experts access to GPT-3 through Power Platform, and assisting pro developers with coding through GitHub Copilot powered by OpenAI's Codex. And we are committed to turning the world's most powerful large-scale models ever built into platforms for you to meet the unique needs of your business. It's why today we are so excited to announce Azure OpenAI Service, a new Azure Cognitive Service that brings together the power of GPT-3 with enterprise capabilities of Azure. Let's go to Tran Lei to share what this means in the context of WNBA.
Thanks, Satya. I'm excited to show you how the new Azure OpenAI service combines OpenAI's cutting-edge innovation with the power of Azure. Azure OpenAI brings models like GPT-3 and Codex to Azure to help developers and content creators provide engaging experiences. Now let's take a look at a WNBA playoffs game to showcase how powerful and innovative Azure's OpenAI service really is. I'll start in Visual Studio Code with the GitHub Copilot plugin, which is an AI pair programmer powered by the OpenAI Codex model running on Azure. Copilot helps developers write code faster by converting natural language comments into actual code. Copilot can synthesize code by intelligently interpreting context across comments and the code itself, allowing developers to focus on high-priority tasks. For some languages, we're already seeing about 30% of all newly written code being suggested by Copilot. And as a developer, you can then make the necessary adjustments to this code to make it your own. Here, I resize the video to fit the Surface Duo. Then I can add this comment, and Copilot will suggest the code to call to the REST endpoint and display the play-by-play and summaries. You can see how Azure OpenAI and GitHub Copilot helped create this app that shows live gameplay alongside commentary and a play-by-play visual. Next, let me show you how Azure OpenAI can create some snackable gameplay summaries for fans. The GPT-3 model, trained on over 175 billion parameters, can use its pattern recognition and generative capabilities to transform dense text into simplified summaries. Real-time commentary of the WNBA playoff game is being created by human announcers. Now let's see what OpenAI can do when asked to create succinct text summaries from the in-game announcer's play-by-play feed. OpenAI produced highly accurate, well-written summaries from real-time game commentary in mere seconds. And with integrated content moderation, content editors are now empowered to select the most appropriate summaries for their audiences, and organizations can be confident that they will be delivering appropriate and trustworthy content. And finally, the Azure OpenAI service can also generate sophisticated original content, assisting content creators to accelerate the production of creative assets. In this case, it is taking all these gameplay summaries generated for the first quarter and creating a summary of summaries to represent how the quarter played out in the form of a blog. Creators can use this to generate blogs, taglines, statistics, and more. When combined with fine-tuning capabilities, you can tailor the output to your specific needs. Azure OpenAI service adds to the Azure Cognitive Services a set of powerful next-generation AI capabilities. We can't wait to see what you do with this exciting new service. Back to you, Satya.
Thank you so much, Tran. That was just awesome. It's incredible to see the innovation here. And most importantly, how these models are becoming platforms for you to build upon and to transform your business. The other area that is truly changing is how the entire identity ecosystem is evolving to create a complete new trust fabric that spans organizational boundaries. In the physical world, identity has always been critical to establishing trust and driving commerce. In the digital world, this is even more important. Think about it. In our interconnected world, we don't just collaborate digitally within our own organization, but with our customers, partners, suppliers. All of the trends I've talked about today so far, whether it's the hybrid work, hyperconnected business, multi-cloud, multi-edge computing, or zero trust security, requires a boundary-less digital ecosystem where trust between different parties needs to be established in real time. We're building the identity system of the future, a connective network that enables people, organizations, apps, and even smart things to make real-time access decisions. It starts with Azure AD, which now extends beyond securing and managing access to also defining customer journeys and business collaboration with anyone. This trust fabric is what makes experiences like Teams Connect possible today. With Teams Connect powered by our identity platform, you can establish seamless, secure, and trusted collaboration across organizational boundaries in a matter of minutes instead of days or even weeks. People across multiple companies can easily collaborate as one extended team, chatting, collaborating on files, scheduling meetings with the right access necessary to do their work. This is so critical. Take customer service swarming, where you have to bring together people across the company and beyond to resolve a ticket. Or take supply chain, which is perhaps the most topical thing for any business today. Consider this example of how a manufacturer can use Teams to work across all their partners and suppliers to mitigate a supply chain disruption by collaborating before, during, and after a meeting. A supply planner receives an alert in Dynamics 365 about a potential issue. From the Teams channel, they can inform the team about the alert and kick off a joint risk mitigation effort. The channel is a shared channel that supports multiple external companies, and it's easy to add another person or team from an external company. Now, everyone across these companies can collaborate in a shared collaboration space, conversing, sharing files securely, just as though they were in the same company. When the third party uploads and shares a file to the channel, the message, which happens to be in Mandarin, can even be translated in line. All stakeholders can open the document and co-author the brief. The document itself can be secured using Microsoft Information Protection and multi-factor auth. With real-time co-authoring now available on encrypted documents, users can be protected and productive at the same time. They can even mention colleagues outside of their company to draw their attention to specific tasks. All of this rich collaboration across teams happens before they even have a meeting, and this all works from one seamless experience without anyone needing to swap tenants. The team can initiate a call directly from the shared channel. During the meeting, the call is recorded so that colleagues who couldn't attend are able to catch up asynchronously and interact with chat. And of course, collaboration powered by Teams is also about what you can do asynchronously after a meeting. Here, a senior manager views a task assigned in Microsoft Lists directly from Teams, making it easy to manage tasks across external teams. From the chat history, they can replay the recorded meeting to get fully caught up, and they can open the document to add their approval to complete the task. All of this illustrates the power of Teams as a platform that break down the barriers between organizations. And finally, as the digital and physical worlds come together, we are creating an entirely new platform layer, which is the metaverse. We're bringing people, places, and things together with the digital world in both the consumer space as well as in the enterprise. Take, for example, Dynamics 365 Connected Spaces, which we are announcing this morning. Connected Spaces provides a new perspective on the way people move and interact in physical spaces, whether it's a retail store or a factory, or even how organizations manage health and safety in a hybrid work environment. You can do analytics, you can get real-time insights, you can run simulations, you can automate routine tasks. And when we talk about the metaverse, we're describing both a new platform and a new application type, similar to how we talked about the web and websites in the early 90s. Across the Microsoft Cloud, from Azure IoT to Azure Digital Twins to Connected Spaces and Microsoft Mesh, we're building the metaverse intrinsics, the metaverse platform for you to build upon. In a sense, the metaverse enables us to embed computing into the real world and to embed the real world into computing, bringing real presence to any digital space. For years, we've talked about creating this digital representation of the world, but now we actually have the opportunity to go into that world and participate in it. What's most important is that we are able to bring our humanity with us and choose how we want to experience this world and who we want to interact with. I can't overstate how much of a breakthrough this is. It's no longer just looking at a camera view of a factory floor. You can be on the floor. It's no longer just video conferencing with colleagues. You can be with them in the same room. It's no longer just playing a game with friends. You can be in the game with them. We are taking these platform capabilities and building them into our own first-party applications like Teams. Features like grid views, together mode, and presenter mode in Teams mark the beginning of bringing 2D immersive experiences to collaboration. But human presence is the ultimate connection. When you and I can have a meeting where we are all present together without actually being physically present, that's the next big breakthrough. And we are approaching this thoughtfully because we have learned from similar transitions in the past. Mesh for Microsoft Teams will allow you to connect with presence and have a shared immersive experience directly in Teams. Let me now turn it over to Ellen Shook and Jason Warnke from Accenture to share how they plan to reimagine work with it.
Thanks, Satya, and hi, everyone. It's great to be here.
Thanks for having us, and welcome to Accenture's Nth Floor.
At Accenture, we have over 624,000 people serving clients in 120 countries. And critical to our ability to work seamlessly together is Microsoft Teams. We have turned our focus away from spaces and places to creating what we call omni-connected experiences, where our people can participate, contribute, and feel like they belong regardless of where they're working.
So it's been awesome to see Mesh for Microsoft Teams come together to enable those experiences.
And as Satya said, it's so important to bring the human connection into our digital world. We're using this technology for meetings and learning, team get-togethers, and it's helped us really transform our new joiner experience. And you'll see I've joined this meeting today using my avatar. We love this new feature because it gives everyone the flexibility and choice to show up in ways they are most comfortable. And for me, not having to be on camera all day has really helped with my energy and engagement.
And even though you're not joining on camera, it feels natural as I can see your facial expressions, gestures, and even live reactions. We've also created an incredible immersive space that's now seamlessly accessible directly through Teams. Why don't we go check it out?
Here we are, Jason, and your avatar looks awesome. Something that I really like is how freely you can move around and have face-to-face conversations.
That's exactly right. We've held more than 100 team gatherings in these immersive spaces where people can connect, learn, and collaborate because they're truly in the same place together.
The solution has been a game changer for onboarding, about 100,000 people a year. And like many organizations, onboarding has been remote for the past 18 months, so bringing our new hires into this immersive environment fosters immediate and deeper connections. It transcends physical boundaries and helps individuals experience a culture in a very personal way. Our new hires meet many more people and grow their professional network much faster.
In IT, we're thrilled how easily we could unlock Mesh's capabilities through Teams. In fact, we're currently rolling it out on all of our computers and recently deployed 60,000 VR headsets. The integration with Microsoft 365 makes everything feel familiar. But on top of that, spatial audio makes everything sound just like it would in person. And I love seeing and hearing our colleagues collaborating and whiteboarding and using this space for productivity.
This doesn't just feel real, it is real. It's been exciting to see an idea become a reality in such a short time, enabling presence and connection that transcends location, keeps our culture vibrant wherever we're working, and levels the playing field to create equal and inclusive experiences.
Thank you all for taking a quick tour with us. And with that, back to you, Satya.
Thanks so much, Ellen and Jason. I just love seeing how Accenture has been able to recreate the human connection you feel around those serendipitous water cooler type conversations and even the design and whiteboarding sessions that you would typically have in person. And of course, these experiences are just incredible when experienced on any VR or AR headsets from Oculus to HoloLens. The metaverse is not just transforming how we see the world, it's changing how all of us actively participate in it. And we can't wait to see what you build and how you bring people together with this technology. What we have shown you today is only the beginning. Our economy and our society is undergoing a sea change of digitization across every industry, sector, and country. We're emerging into a new era where you and the invaluable work you do will be more necessary than ever. And we are building the Microsoft Cloud to help you accelerate into this new world. I'm inspired every day by so many examples of people everywhere who have used our platform and tools to transform their businesses, their communities, and in the process expanded their own career opportunities. You're turning the structural change born of this moment into new opportunity. That's our purpose. It's not about us. It's about your passion, your imagination, your ingenuity, and what all of you can do with the technologies we build. One of my favorite examples is the impact so many people are having with Power Platform. In just the past month, more than 20 million creators have used it to address their own challenges and opportunities, as well as those of their communities and society at large. I want to close by sharing some of their stories. Thank you so very much. Have a great rest of Ignite.
I actually have no background in IT, but then started in Power Apps, and it just really came natural.
For me, the Power Platform is not just another tool. It's actually a transformational agent. If we all get into this revolution, our whole country, Nigeria, will be totally transformed.
新ラーニングモデルを使って私たちは来客予測というのに成功したので、回転率もかなり速くなってお客様からのクレームは格段に減ってます。テクノロジーのキャリアを築いていこうと思ったことは今まで一度もありませんでした。
I felt excited. Everyone's using this app I've created. I'm like, oh wow, like, I've done that. Now I'm going into IT. It's amazing where my career's gone now.
Power Automate was what sparked kind of a lot of the ingenuity in realizing, okay, I can use this for lots of different systems. Even in a pandemic, our babies are going to learn.
We ended up building a cloud-enabled backpack, which tests for 10 most common diseases. The results are delivered to the clients on Power BI.
The new technologies is giving us a hope. Like me, my child will be healthier.
Everywhere there are people with great ideas around the world. But what's the gathering place where these dreamers have their ideas come to life? Microsoft. It's literally a place where we get to weave the tapestry of the future.
The Microsoft Cloud is the most trusted and comprehensive cloud in the industry. We don't say that boastfully. We actually say that with a sense of accountability, because we believe in our mission. We believe that our aim is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And so when we build the Microsoft Cloud as the most trusted and comprehensive one in the industry, we actually believe that it calls us to action, to go and serve all of you as customers by industry from left to right. It's about empowering you to achieve your business outcomes. What I want to do today is some context setting for how we're doing that, and how we're doing that by industry, and how that parlays into the 4 themes of Ignite. So throughout today's keynotes, I will host conversations about the Microsoft Cloud with thought leaders from around the world in an effort to bring these themes to life. But first, I'd love to jump into a topic that Satya touched on up front, sustainability, and how the Microsoft Cloud is empowering a carbon-neutral future for the planet. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that no business is 100% resilient. But those businesses that are fortified with digital capability are more resilient than those that are not. We've seen that investing in digital capabilities for supply chain resiliency and for autonomous factories has helped companies endure these challenging times. And the beauty of all of this is that not only has this tech helped our customers survive the pandemic and the challenges of global constraints, but it is also going to help them thrive in the future. Let's get started. For my first conversation, I spoke with Juan Jose Payon, Senior Vice President of Global Infrastructure, Applications, and Cloud Operations at Grupo Bimbo. The global prepared foods company operates 196 bakery plants across 30 countries. And because they have to ship these baked goods to so many locations, they have a distribution network with over 57,000 routes worldwide. Given their massive operating footprint, the company's sustainability ambitions are noteworthy, and the way they are leveraging technology to make progress is truly impressive. Hi, Juan. Thanks so much for being with me today.
Hey, Judson, it's an honor.
So tell us a little bit about Grupo Bimbo's sustainability ambitions and how, in your mind, technology has a role in addressing those.
We are a purpose-driven company. We want to truly become a net zero carbon emission company. And as part of that, for instance, 80% of our electricity is coming from renewable sources today. And by 2025, we plan to be 100% renewable. We want to use technology to grow our business and also to make better decisions. And for that, having a complete visibility on our value chain. This is from the moment our raw materials enter our bakeries to the moment we deliver the product, the final product to our customers. So our Industrial Internet of Things initiative is very important for us, creating digital twins. We are working really hard connecting all these bakeries, production lines, our logistics, our transportation to provide visibility, to provide traceability, and to have timely information to take those decisions. Then we will have a very clear idea where are the things where we need to adjust, correct, where are the inefficiencies, how we can be more efficient in the use of water, in the use of energy, from waste on every bakery. So we want to have a connected value chain as a first phase. Then at the same time, we are moving to have a predictive one. And our ambition, our goal is to have a cognitive one in the near future.
Yeah, look, for me, this is a multifaceted payoff. Of course, you can drive greater efficiencies in the business, and so there's economic yield. But in addition to those business benefits, you also get the benefit of a reduced carbon footprint, reduced water utilization. So just a few weeks ago, as you well know, Juan, we announced the public preview for Microsoft's Cloud for Sustainability, which you all have graciously been piloting for the last couple of months. Can you talk about how this fits into the strategy?
So we are building this platform, implementing it as we speak. Our ambition is not only to work on Scope 1 and Scope 2, which is actually specifically impacting our value chain, but also in the future even go to Scope 3, which is the more indirect aspect of how we are doing in the carbon emissions. So this is going to help us to be more laser focused on initiatives and actions. Is a game changer for us.
We're proud to be a technology partner to you all in this ambition. And I think it's just fantastic how you're set out to make a real difference in the world here. So thanks so much for being with us today, Juan.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity. The future is bright, and it's even brighter when we collaborate. What we can produce and give to the world and other industries and other companies is gonna be great.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Juan.
Hello, and thanks for joining us at Ignite. If there's one thing we know, it's that hybrid work is here to stay. But the big question is, what will the next decade of work look like? How will you prepare? As big as the changes over the past 20 months have been, it's just the beginning. The established patterns of work we've relied on for years are undergoing monumental changes that will completely redefine work. Nearly every human interaction now involves a digital touchpoint. Asynchronous communication is the new norm. Meetings transcend time and space. The promise of AI is being realized, amplifying human ingenuity in ways that feel like magic. To thrive in this new world, every organization needs a digital fabric that binds the organization together with secure communication, collaboration, and creation. This digital fabric enables flexibility and strengthens connections from people to teams, employees to managers. It makes weak ties stronger and connects people to mission and culture. It seamlessly weaves together data, automation, and AI, all in the flow of work. It includes every type of worker, information workers, frontline workers, and flex workers, and every function, from HR to sales to marketing and customer support. And it extends beyond organizational boundaries to include customers and partners. Alive and enlightened with AI, this digital fabric is a competitive advantage for every company, enabling people to be tightly interconnected, to communicate, collaborate, create, and innovate in new ways, all in the flow of work. The Microsoft Cloud is the only cloud that can empower everyone in this new era. And at the center of it all is Teams. Today, we'll show you how we're innovating across this digital fabric to enable every person to have the greatest impact. We'll show you new apps that in 1 year will be just as integrated into your daily workflow as Teams is now. Let's jump in. People are turning to Windows PCs more than ever to stay connected, productive, and secure. And Windows 11 is the best OS for hybrid work. It's the most productive, collaborative, and secure Windows ever. It's easy to deploy, giving you the value of an upgrade with the effort of an update. And it can be managed with the infrastructure you have today. With Windows 365, we created an entirely new category, the Cloud PC. Windows 365 takes the operating system to the cloud, so your full Windows experience, all your apps, content, and settings can now be streamed from the cloud to any device. And we mean any device: a PC, iPad, Mac, Android, even Linux. Our new managed desktop service simplifies the update and patch management process. And Windows is best on Microsoft Surface. With Pixel Sense displays, the newest pen technology, premium mics and cameras, and versatile form factors, Surface devices take Windows innovation to the next level. For years, the established patterns of work were clear, but overnight, everything changed. Microsoft Office is changing too. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint aren't going anywhere. In fact, they're better than ever with Teams integration and cloud-powered AI. But we're going further. We're completely reimagining Office to go beyond the traditional confines of a document, spreadsheet, or presentation, spilling over to entirely new mediums. Just like Teams has transformed collaboration and productivity, Microsoft Loop is the next big breakthrough in Microsoft 365. Loop is a new app for a communications-first and AI-first world. We're composing content, comments, chats, reactions, and live business process data together in a new collaborative canvas. And we're reimagining how anyone can contribute directly in the flow of their work, whether from a chat, email, meeting, or document. Loop is a whole new way to work together. Loop lets you think, plan, and create together like you've never been able to before. Let's take a closer look.
Loop consists of 3 core elements: Loop Workspaces, Loop Pages, and Loop Components. Loop Workspaces are shared spaces that allow you and your team to see and group everything important to your project. Add Office docs, notebooks, files, links, whiteboards, or anything else related to your project. Loop Pages are flexible canvases that grow to match the size of your ideas. Pages put the focus on your work, bringing together powerful tools that adapt to meet the needs of your project. Every Loop page can feature Loop components. These atomic units of productivity allow the team to pull in live business records, track tasks, or capture progress. But it's not just about content, it's also about connecting with people. Loop always keeps you and your team in sync. You can brainstorm, create, and build on each other's work. You can react to each other's ideas, express your thoughts, and celebrate your achievements together. These capabilities aren't limited to your Loop app. With Loop components, you can bring any part of your workspace into Teams, emails and Outlook, or whatever app your team is using in the moment.
So that's Microsoft Loop, where teams can think, plan, and create together. The promise of AI has always been about augmenting human capability in ways that feel like magic. Today, it's becoming reality. New predictive capabilities across Microsoft 365 will change the way you work and do the work for you. Context IQ turns insights into action, harnessing the power of the Microsoft Graph to glean insights about your work throughout the day, then predicting, seeking, and suggesting information you need right when you need it, at the point of action. Context IQ breaks down barriers between collaboration and business processes, not just in Teams, but everywhere across Microsoft 365. Let's take a look at the magic of Context IQ in Editor.
Historically, Editor corrected grammar, spelling, and made suggestions as you typed, helping autocomplete sentences. Context IQ takes Editor to a whole other level. Instead of searching for a file, Editor with Context IQ recommends the most relevant files directly in your workflow. No more switching apps, then manually copying and pasting links into your email. For app mention, it uses logic to recommend the right people, saving you from searching or accidentally including the wrong Mona Kane. Need to schedule a meeting? Editor with Context IQ will recommend times everyone is available, saving you from switching apps and manually conducting a calendar search.
This is just the beginning of what Context IQ can do for you in the flow of work. Creators are everywhere in your company. You need to empower them with new tools to fuel innovation. Creation takes many forms, and videos become pervasive as creators seek new dynamic ways to bring content to life. Our acquisition of Clipchamp brings new video editing capabilities to the Office suite. Clipchamp's intuitive interface and rich content library helps anyone create polished, professional-looking videos in minutes. Now let's shift gears. Hybrid work requires a boundaryless digital ecosystem, one where trust between different parties is established in real time. That's why we're building the identity system of the future, a connective network that enables people, organizations, apps, and even smart things to make real-time access decisions. It all starts with Azure AD, which now extends beyond securing and managing access to defining customer business processes across all kinds of external collaboration. And that's what makes Teams Connect possible.
Teams Connect enables people to work together seamlessly as one extended team across companies. Your external shared channels show up alongside your other channels in one single view. From a shared channel, you can easily invite a person or a team. This establishes a secure and trusted collaboration environment in seconds. We're immediately able to chat, meet, share files, and work together on documents, as if we're in the same company. It even lets you directly @mention someone outside your org from within a document.
Teams Connect will be in public preview in the first quarter of 2022. The world has shifted to hybrid events. Microsoft Teams now offers capabilities that enable you to deliver engaging and memorable events and webinars, all within Teams.
Our new webinar capabilities provide rich experiences for presenters and attendees, including a virtual green room for presenters to prep and interact backstage before going live, a new structured Q&A experience for better audience engagement, and a curated attendee experience to ensure that attendees only see shared content and guests that are invited to speak.
We're helping every organization drive the next level of productivity with collaborative applications that bring business process directly into the flow of work in Teams. These new collab apps bring frontline and information workers together and closer to the customer, automating workflows and improving business outcomes. ISVs can make their own collaborative apps in two ways. The first is to bring your own apps and tools into Teams, and the second is taking Teams into your business systems. Today, we're going to focus on the first. Earlier, we introduced Microsoft Loop and Editor with Context IQ. Individually, each of these new experiences are powerful, but when combined, a whole new level of productivity is unlocked.
Here, a sales team is working to close a customer opportunity. As they discuss the customer in Teams chat, Editor with Context IQ suggests related Loop components for the Dynamics 365 sales opportunity record for Alpine Ski House, as well as components from third parties, such as Jira, Zoho, and SAP. The team inserts the Dynamics 365 opportunity record. Notice how seamlessly it pulls all the customer content from Dynamics 365 into chat. Let me pause for a moment. Your business data just showed up right within the flow of work. That may have seemed like magic, but this is the real power of AI. If they need to make an update like the estimated revenue or the status, they can do that right here. And as this Loop component is always live and up to date, those changes are directly reflected in the Dynamics 365 record, maintaining a single source of truth that keeps everyone in sync. With Loop components, your data is always safe. Only those with proper access permissions will see the content. If we switch to the sales rep view, who spends most of their time in Dynamics 365, we can see a notification that a few fields have been modified, and they'll see the updates to the estimated revenue and status. Now let's see how the sales team can leverage Editor with Context IQ and Microsoft Loop in Outlook. The team needs to send an email summary to the account team that includes proof of customer credit, which they can pull in with a Loop component directly from SAP. This cuts out a lot of manual steps to copy information between apps. And the information in the Loop component is always kept up to date, even after they've sent the email. And just like in Teams chat, the Dynamics 365 opportunity record can be added with the help of Editor into an email in Outlook. Regardless of whether you're in Teams or in Outlook, Editor's predictive suggestions ensure the content that you need is right at your fingertips, delivering insights at the point you're taking action, saving valuable time. From here, the sales team can also view all the places where this Loop component has been shared. This Loop component can easily be connected to one of their workspaces in the Loop app. This enables them to aggregate Loop components and any other content related to the project, as well as pull in additional people to ideate, create, and track important tasks together. Everyone can edit these Loop components in the flow of their work, whether it's in the Loop app, in Outlook, in Word, in Teams, and even on the go with Teams Mobile.
Thanks, Marissa. By weaving AI into the digital fabric of your organization, we're delivering on the promise of what AI can do. Partners like ServiceNow, SAP, Atlassian, and Monday.com are all building collaborative apps in Teams. ServiceNow is integrating the ability to join a Teams meeting right from their collaborative app. IT, HR, and workplace services teams can quickly initiate meetings and pull in relevant stakeholders for incident management directly in Teams. Embedding case and incident details directly in Teams simplifies service management, boosts collaboration, and enables rapid response to critical issues. That's the digital fabric coming to life. Teams is the new front end for every organization. With the launch of our all-in-one digital contact solution, we're bringing together traditional contact center, unified communications, and customer service capabilities into a single integrated SaaS solution. And it's all powered by Dynamics 365 Customer Service and Microsoft Teams. With Contact Center and Teams, you get chat and voice connectivity, extensibility with other business applications, and intelligence embedded at every step of the customer service experience. The vast majority of meeting rooms today just aren't optimized for a hybrid work world. We know people want both flexible work options and in-person collaboration. So physical space will still be important, and every organization will need to rethink it for flexibility. Let's recap how we're innovating in Teams to bring everyone into the room.
We'll start with Front Row, where life-size remote attendees are face-to-face with people in the room. Dynamic View automatically optimizes video participants and shared content. Intelligent cameras help isolate people in the room into individual video feeds. Intelligent speakers use voice recognition to ensure all meetings are inclusive and engaging. Hot desking on Teams displays lets employees reserve a flexible shared space and use it as a standalone meeting device. PowerPoint Live comes with new accessibility features that enable you to reach a wider audience. And finally, Cameo lets you integrate your video feed directly in PowerPoint to better connect with your audience as you present.
As computing becomes embedded in the real world is being embedded in computing. That's Mesh, the metaverse. As we look to the future, this metaverse will be every bit as foundational to our lived experiences as the internet is today. We're taking that experience and building Mesh right into Teams. I'd like to give you a sneak preview of how it's recreating a lot of what we value from being together at work and how it's extending productivity beyond what was previously possible. How you show up in an immersive space is still you. How you project yourself really matters. So we're giving you control to customize your avatar to embody your preferred look and style. These avatars are powered by AI to imitate subtle movements and gestures based on voice and tone. They also animate according to your live reactions in Teams. Avatars within immersive spaces enable people to bring their physical presence into the conversation when they don't have their camera turned on. Let's look at the immersive space we created with Accenture, with lobbies, welcome areas, meeting rooms, the works. The freedom to explore these spaces really gives you the feeling of being together, the opportunity to have those spontaneous connections. Just look at how everyone in the space is socializing and connecting with each other. One unique benefit of Mesh immersive spaces that you can't experience in the physical world is the integrated transcription and translation of conversations. For example, for people with hearing difficulties, conversations can be read via live transcriptions. Additionally, thanks to Azure Cognitive Services, I can simply read what they're saying without a translator. It's all about inclusivity and accessibility. We're also bringing Microsoft 365 apps into the Mesh experience. So I can walk into a space with a digital whiteboard and feel as if I'm there together with colleagues as we brainstorm on a digital canvas. With Microsoft 365 integration, users can seamlessly access content, files, or documents via OneDrive, which you can then edit, annotate, or share with others. You can even use 3D objects and interact with them as you would in the real world. All these Mesh experiences in Teams will be supported on PC, mobile, and a variety of mixed reality headsets coming to users in the first half of 2022. In a hybrid work world, The digital employee experience is the employee experience. This is critical for organizations to attract, retain, and develop the best and most diverse talent. That's where Microsoft Viva comes in. Viva builds on top of Teams so people can find everything they need right in the flow of work. Viva has 4 modules: connections, insights, learning, and topics, all designed to connect employees to just-in-time information and resources that can help them do their best work. And with our acquisition of Ally, we're adding a 5th module focused on connecting work to strategic objectives. Now let's take a closer look at Viva Insights.
As organizations adapt to collaboration in a hybrid world, they'll be able to use Viva Insights to make meetings more effective. Users will see how consistently they're following meetings best practices, like starting meetings on time and including an agenda. This information will be private, like all personal insights in Viva. Only the meeting organizer will see their meeting effectiveness data. Users can also create a shared meeting plan so their team can follow the same meeting norms. With only a few clicks within the Viva Insights app, select the meeting practice and team members to share the plan with. Viva Insights will also help users understand how they're spending their own meeting time to evaluate how that matches up with goals. For example, users will see what proportion of meeting time they spend with customers and other people outside the company, as well as with their own team. Soon, managers and team leads will have help staying connected with their teams through intelligent reminders to do things like schedule one-on-one time and respond to unanswered mentions in documents or chats. Insights for managers and team leads can also help set team norms, like designating specific no meeting days to give people a chance to catch up on focused work. And managers will be able to recognize the team's accomplishments more easily, simply by using the Send Praise feature. These actionable insights enable organizations to keep employees engaged and connected and prioritize well-being. Companies like PayPal and Unilever use Viva Insights to measurably improve employee well-being and productivity.
Thanks, Marissa. There are more than 2 billion frontline workers around the world, and we're building tools to empower them all. It's important to connect frontline workers to leaders, whether it's a video from the CEO or simply to seek feedback. Viva Connections Mobile makes this connected relationship easier and more inclusive. Frontline workers can easily access their shift, clock in or out, and manage checklists to perform their tasks. They can also communicate with the manager on duty through shift-aware tags. Since Teams is a platform, businesses can bring in the right line of business apps, create their own low-code apps for frontline workers, or use templates right within Teams. Frontline workers have different needs, so we support both bring your own device and shared device scenarios through investments in Microsoft Endpoint Manager to ensure security and privacy. One company that's really embraced the idea of flexibility is outdoor sporting goods retailer REI. Back in 2016, REI announced plans for a brand new headquarters. Construction began in 2018 with plans for all corporate employees to move into the new offices in mid-2020. Then the pandemic hit, and they saw an opportunity to rethink their approach to space. So they sold their new campus and adopted a more flexible model with small satellite offices scattered around the city. Let's hear how it's going.
I'm here with Chris Puder, the Executive Vice President of Technology and Operations here at REI, one of my favorite companies. Chris, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. You guys have an incredible story because at the beginning of the pandemic, you had constructed a brand new, beautiful campus, but changed plans. Can you tell us about that?
We stepped back and re-examined everything. Selling our campus gave us a chance to start with a clean slate and look at what we wanted to create for a hybrid way of working. We needed to create an inclusive environment where everyone could feel heard, seen, and have a sense of belonging. So we've created a network of spaces and places, virtual and physical, where they can come to do what needs to be done.
That's an amazing difference from a centralized campus. Well, I'd imagine technology was really important in this transformation.
Technology enablement was critical, and we are using Teams. We've deployed it both at our headquarters for about 1,400 employees and our stores. So we have 15,000 people on Teams, so we can have much more fluid conversations across the co-op now. And it's been quite an unlock for us. First, it's an unlock just for the stores when they're talking with each other across the nation. The second is really that conversation between the stores and headquarters employees is much richer now.
One of my favorite things about REI is I get to go into the store and meet with your green vests. But I understand now that you are starting to use Teams specifically to kind of allow the green vest to go beyond the store.
Once the store teams started using Teams, they realized how powerful it was. And they now use it for virtual appointments.
My name's Taylor, and I'll be your virtual outfitter today.
In our business, it's about expertise, right?
Yeah.
So say you want to buy a bike, but it's the first bike you're buying for your child. You could schedule a consultation with a green vest who's going to talk you through that and have that same exchange that you would in a store.
How do you think about going forward?
We've done a lot of learning. We're in version 1, I'd call it. We are definitely going forward with our hybrid work model. Similarly with the virtual outfitting, the feedback is really positive, both from our green vest and our customers. So that's something we'll continue forward, and we'll evolve it like every other experience that we have.
I hope you can see how this digital fabric is beginning to take shape and the ways it will unlock communication, collaboration, creation, and innovation for every type of worker, from information workers to frontline workers, and from employees to managers, across every function, from HR to sales to marketing to customer service, and from inside your organization to outside your organization. You can see how we're making the promise of AI real today across the Microsoft Cloud to help you get work done by doing the work for you. A year from now, Context IQ, Microsoft Loop, and Mesh will be as core to work as Teams is today. Thank you.
I'm thrilled to have Lena Nair, Chief Human Resources Officer at Unilever, join me for my next conversation. Lena, thanks so much for being here. Let's start from the beginning. Why don't you tell me a little bit about Unilever all up as a company?
We are Unilever, a truly global company, an FMCG that makes the most essential products the world needs today. And our mission is to make sustainable living commonplace.
So Lena, since the dawn of the pandemic, as you well know, companies around the world have scrambled to embrace a remote work philosophy. I know you've been on this journey for years at Unilever, and it's a critically important part of your strategy. Tell us a little bit more about that.
One of the things we learned very early in the pandemic is one size doesn't fit all. We're all in the same storm, we're not in the same boat. We'd invested in quite a bit in digital technology, whether it was Teams for collaboration, Power BI platform for our organization, digital twin factories, or Una, a chatbot in HR that handles about 7 million transactions a year. What was truly heartening for me to see is in our recent Univoice survey, our people, 93% of our people felt that they were really well supported during COVID with the equipments, the technology that allowed them to be productive. So I was so glad we partnered with Microsoft and had made all those investments early.
So from the last session here at Ignite, we just got finished hearing a lot about Microsoft Viva. You all at Unilever have been one of the early customers for Microsoft Viva, and I wondered if you'd share with us a bit about how you've been using the technology and how it's been a benefit to you and your people.
We've been, using Viva Topics to get the right curated topics to our people. We've been using Viva Connections to make sure our people get the content, information, the content that they are seeking. We've been using Viva to understand more insights about the way our people are working. How is their well-being? How is their productivity? How is their engagement? And let me give you a few examples. People in our organization that were working 60 and 70-hour weeks without taking any breaks at all had a greater risk to their well-being. We saw that women, particularly those working in emerging markets in Asia and Africa, were struggling a lot, particularly those between the ages of 30 to 39, because all the caring responsibilities were on their shoulders as per the social norms of the places they operated in. We started intervening to put support systems in place to ensure that undue work burden and work responsibility was not felt. We have 150,000 people in 190 countries, and one size doesn't fit all. And the beauty of Viva is it gives you the right action, right place, right time, leading to better engagement, better productivity, better well-being.
I'm so glad to hear how you're using these insights, Lena. It's pretty fantastic. I'm excited about the new Viva Manager Insights capabilities that customers will be able to leverage to make data-driven decisions about the overall well-being of employees. As Unilever contemplates this notion of return to the physical workplace, how are you thinking about your hybrid work strategy?
Firstly, I think this is such a moment to reimagine and reinvent. In fact, I'm going to ban the use of things like return to the workplace, back to work, because there is no return, there's no back. We are going forward to a new world that combines the best of what we knew earlier to what we've learned in almost the last 2 years. One of the things I believe in is the power of offices. Offices are important. It's a place where people get together to collaborate, to celebrate, to commiserate. It's a place where culture is built. But we also believe that you can marry that with flexibility and choice and create focused places at the workplace or beyond where people can work differently. So for example, we're experimenting with a 4-day working week in New Zealand. We're experimenting with something called U-Work in the UK, where our people can say, those who don't want to work 12 months a year but want to look at 6 weeks to 6 months, can do so while getting the security of an employment contract with Unilever. So tremendous flexibility. We have a program called U-Renew, where people can invest money and the company invests money and they can go on sabbaticals to learn some new skills. We can't do all of this just for our office staff. We have 90,000 people who work in our factories who are creating essential products like soaps and sanitizers for the world. We have to bear in mind that we've got to create that flexibility and choice for our manufacturing staff. And underpinning that flexibility and choice and empowerment we want to give people has to be technology and tools. There is no question we have to do this in a modern, progressive, technology-enabled way.
I love that, Lena, and I love your charge on looking forward and not looking back. At Microsoft, we certainly share your passion for the importance of physical spaces, which is why we're so excited about the meeting room capabilities that Jared announced in his Ignite keynote just a few moments ago. Overall, we couldn't be more grateful, Lena, for the partnership at Unilever. You're really a fantastic example of just the importance of embracing employee well-being and leveraging technology to help have a better employee experience. So thanks so much for the leadership, Lena.
The way humans work and live will never be the same. We all feel it. Some people are still holding out for business as usual. And unfortunately, those people are probably going to end up disappointed. Because for those of us who have accepted these changes, we understand that everything has shifted. And as we've made these shifts, we've learned 3 things. Hybrid work is here to stay. Customers expect more than ever. And if you can't figure out how to adapt to what's next, you simply won't make it. So how do we set ourselves up for success in the future? Let's hear from one company who's answering just that question. And during the story, I want you to listen for one theme: connection. Let's take a look.
Heineken wants to become the best connected brewer. And actually that's based on our history. We have super strong connections with our consumers. We have known them for 157 years. We built our strategy, which is called Evergreen. It's how do we keep growing? How do we understand our consumers? Where do we invest? Where do we innovate?
It's not possible anymore to do things the way you did before. It's a matter of survival of CPG companies.
The way we manage our brands has changed. From traditionally being brand focused to be very strategically thoughtful on our route to consumer, you always start with your company strategy. And then you look at digital tools.
Microsoft has a real understanding of the art of the possible and bring the knowledge of Heineken where we really know what makes customers tick, what the relationship is, what the pain points are. Together with Microsoft, we can create the dream of a seamless experience for all our customers across the entire value chain.
When we say focusing on customer needs and pains, there is no one size fits all. So we really try to move away from traditionally looking at the market and just say this is a bar and the needs of a bar is XYZ. Saying within the channel bar, you have different kind of customers, the individual, the person. The role of these sales reps are changing because of the digitization. We need sales reps for value-add activities. For example, an outlet owner starts a bar, he's short on cash. How can the company help in a tailored way? You can talk about design. You can inform an outlet owner on pricing.
And we're implementing the voice of the customer and really trying to find out what are the key pain points of our customer, transforming that into actionable insights for our customers to really build a bigger business.
Data is the new fuel of the companies, right? But only having the data is not enough. But what we're looking for is to enable the power behind the data, to predict what kind of demand and what are the consumer trends, how we can connect with social media events, how we can check about the weather.
AI, machine learning are absolutely the tools of today. Targeted sales activities or next best action, where's the most value, what should sales reps discuss?
And the data will tell us where the biggest uplift is coming from. This is a machine learning, a data decision, and then step by step in a very organized and intentional process that will create happiness of a customer.
It's a huge transformation that we are doing not only for Heineken, but for the overall industry. That's what the mission, to be the disruptors and the change agents of the future of this business.
Heineken and Microsoft together can build something which is super powerful. Microsoft is bringing people together. We will add the flavor that over a beer in a bar, we can create real, true and emotional connections with people. Bringing those two elements together is going to be magic.
Heineken's goal is to become the best connected brewer. And the connection they're talking about isn't just the kind you find over a beer with a friend. They're building connections across their entire business, connecting feedback from customers with the needs of their outlets, connecting sales reps with social media trends, even connecting the weather forecast with their demand predictions. So what does success look like for Heineken? You've guessed it, connection. The connections they are trying to build can only be achieved through the power of data. There's been an absolute explosion of data generated by every business process, every connected device, and every individual on the planet. This vast quantity of data is the largest untapped resource of the modern age. And in order to turn the potential of that data into the power to thrive in the future, we need a new approach to business applications. We have to move away from siloed data and processes and move toward a new model of a hyper-connected business. This means unifying your business data so you can get a holistic view of your entire business. It means permeating every business function with the intelligence to be proactive, not reactive, resulting in faster and more meaningful business outcomes. And it means ensuring collaboration at every step, empowering people to work together across functions and roles. We have redefined business applications to allow every person and every organization on the planet to build a hyper-connected business. But that is only possible with the power of the Microsoft Cloud. It starts with the global hyperscale platform of Azure, allowing you to ingest and reason over large quantities of data, along with the AI and ML models to gain intelligence from that data. Then you need the extensibility and the developer services of GitHub, Visual Studio, and the Power Platform to act on that data in ways that are tailored for your unique needs. And finally, at the app layer, you need the collaboration and productivity solutions of Microsoft 365 and Teams, as well as the business solutions of Microsoft Dynamics 365. Our commitment to our customers is to build the most comprehensive and trusted cloud in the industry. That's how we will help you build the hyper-connected business that will see your organization and your employees thriving now and into the future. But where do you start? You start with the most pressing need. As many of us know, the world is in the middle of a supply chain crisis. It's impacting all of us, from ordering holiday presents to stocking the shelves at your local grocery store, and posing challenges that range from slight inconveniences all the way to critical infrastructure disruptions. One way we can help navigate these challenges is providing organizations greater visibility. Visibility is so critical because today's supply chains are multifaceted and complex. From sourcing raw materials to putting your product in the hands of a customer, there are literally hundreds of steps along the way. And each one of those steps has the potential to break down, and a company might not even know about it. Like many businesses, Daimler Trucks North America has been faced with that exact challenge, particularly as the past year has brought part shortages and shipping delays, just to name a few. They needed better visibility and better tools to get ahead of the supply chain challenges. And that's exactly what we are bringing to market with Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Insights, announced today at Ignite. Companies like Daimler can gain new visibility into their supply chain across multiple tiers of suppliers. They can also get data in near real time so that they can assess risks and mitigate problems before a massive disruption occurs. But in addition to data from within their own operations, organizations also need to bring in external signals like news reports or weather predictions to get a complete picture of everything that could impact their operations. Let's see this in action with one of Daimler's suppliers, Detroit Diesel Company. Ashley, take it away.
Thanks, Alyssa. Using an industry-standard data model makes integrating data from external partners super easy. Some external risk signals are available out of the box without having to set up a connection, like data from Swiss Re and Bing. With these signals, Supply Chain Insights can interpret this data to provide risk scores for facilities and suppliers. For example, this site in Florida has a high risk score. Let's drill in to see the details. It looks like the high risk score is due to latent weather risks like storm surge and high winds. While currently there are no real-time risks, data from external partners is leveraged to make predictions, giving organizations early warning alerts they can act on. Supply Chain Insights can also determine the orders, both open and currently in transit, that are potentially impacted by these early warnings. We can even drill in to see specific shipments and their projected delivery dates. Since there are multiple orders impacted, let's filter on the related risk reason, like storm surge, to get a visual understanding of the warning. We can see here that the risk for storm surge exists in several places, not just the fulfillment site, which could potentially impact customers along the Gulf and on the East Coast. To better comprehend the scope of disruptions like weather events, organizations can enhance their overall supply chain view by adding visual overlays to the map. Let's try another one like high winds. Early risk warnings build resilience into supply chains by predicting disruptions before they happen, allowing organizations to adapt quickly. In the example we just saw, companies like Daimler can expedite shipments or reroute stock from another warehouse in anticipation of a weather disruption to put customers first by ensuring on-time delivery. Back to you, Alyssa.
Thank you, Ashley. What a great demonstration to show how valuable external data can add more intelligence to Daimler's entire supply chain. Building a more agile and resilient supply chain is important for organizations across every industry, but it's particularly high priority for manufacturing organizations large and small. That's why the capabilities we've just seen are a core component of the Microsoft Cloud for Manufacturing, now in public preview. In addition to supply chain visibility, the Microsoft Cloud for Manufacturing includes capabilities to manage asset productivity, deliver always-on service, and more, all tailored for the very specific needs of a manufacturing organization. And we are already seeing customers, including Johnson & Johnson, working with Microsoft on their digital manufacturing transformation. We've talked about the global supply chain and the broader manufacturing industry as just a few examples of how the world is changing. And we've looked at one way we're helping organizations increase resilience and agility in the face of those changes. But let's touch on another critical factor for building a hyper-connected business: collaboration. Connecting and collaborating with the people around us is a fundamental human need. To share more, let me hand it over to Charles Lamanna. Charles?
Thanks, Alyssa. Just like the way we live and work, the way we collaborate will never be the same. It's not just a phone call, text message, or one-to-one chat anymore. It's also about new communication channels like video conferencing and interactive apps. And collaboration in those channels means bringing together the right data with the right people at the right time to deliver greater impact. We need to connect with each other, collaborate across team boundaries, and easily find the context we need to be more effective. That's why we're so excited to introduce Context IQ at Ignite. Business data is now available to everyone, everywhere. You saw a sneak peek of this in Jared's session. With Context IQ, we're breaking down barriers between collaboration and business applications, not just in Teams, but everywhere in Microsoft 365. You'll be able to surface results from your business data across Microsoft Search, find business data in line when you're working in Outlook, and collaborate with contextual Teams chats right inside Dynamics 365. With Context IQ, we are blurring the line between Office and Dynamics like never before. Work where you want to, when you want to. But we know that collaboration doesn't stop at the boundary of your company. To deliver great experiences, you need to embrace a collaboration-first approach with your customers too. That's why at Ignite, we're proud to announce the general availability of our built-in voice channel for Dynamics 365 customer service, built on the same planet-scale communications platform that powers Microsoft Teams. With Dynamics 365 customer service, we're now delivering an all-in-one digital contact center solution that brings together digital channels, unified communications, AI, and customer service capabilities, all as part of a single integrated SaaS solution, all built on the Microsoft Cloud. With an all-in-one solution, you can deliver personalized service on every channel across chat, SMS, voice, and more. You can also leverage unified insights across all customer interactions with no integrations required. Let's see the new capabilities in action. Kos, over to you.
Thanks, Charles. At Xbox Customer Support, their mission is to get customers back to gaming as quickly as possible. They know that a customer's leisure time is valuable, and finding resolutions to customer issues quickly is critical for customer satisfaction and ongoing usage of Xbox. With AI-driven self-service, automation, and assisted service on live chat, social messaging, and voice, Xbox provides 24/7 support across the entire world to millions of customers. In this demo, you'll see how Dynamics 365 customer service and the new voice channel allows Xbox to deliver world-class support to its customers. Let's take a look. Meet Emma. Emma loves playing Minecraft on her Xbox with her friends, but she received an alert that her Game Pass subscription had expired. Emma calls the Xbox Support Center and is connected with a virtual agent.
Hello, Emma. Welcome to Xbox Support. My name is Zoe, your virtual agent. Your annual Game Pass subscription expired last week. Would you like me to renew it?
Hey, Zoe. Yes, thank you.
Of course. I have extended your membership and sent you a text with instructions on how to set up recurring payments. Can I help you with anything else today?
Yes, I'd like to get an Xbox gift card for my brother.
Sure. Let me connect you to our rewards team.
Zoe is a conversational IVR, built using Power Virtual Agents. The same bot can work across chat, social, and voice, allowing Xbox to provide consistent and personalized self-service on every channel. After Zoe transfers the call, the engine uses skills-based assignment to identify Kyle as the best-suited available agent to help Emma. Let's switch over to Kyle's agent desktop in Dynamics. Kyle's wrapping up a chat with another customer. He gets an incoming call notification from Emma and accepts it. His screen lights up with the full customer journey in the context from the bot, so he doesn't have to ask Emma to repeat anything. As Emma and Kyle talk, the built-in AI transcribes the conversation in real time, so Kyle can focus entirely on providing compassionate service instead of taking notes. Just like with other channels, live sentiment analysis and real-time recommendations of knowledge articles and similar cases can provide proactive assistance to the agent. AI is infused in each step of the call to help both customers and agents resolve issues faster. And with the full customer journey available to both virtual and human agents, Xbox customers get personalized, consistent service every time without having to repeat themselves. Now let's switch to a supervisor's experience. Maya is Kyle's supervisor. She can track voice-specific KPIs like average talk time and hold time using the out-of-box dashboards. She can also switch to the conversation dashboard to see blended insights across all channels, like live chat, social messaging, and of course voice in one single place, giving her a holistic view of the whole contact center. Dynamics uses advanced AI to analyze transcripts of conversations across channels to identify and group emerging issues, so Maya can quickly see where she needs to focus on. She can drill into a topic to see the related conversations, down to a specific call, where she can play back call recordings and review the agent's conversational style, like talking speed and talk-to-listen ratio. With the data across all customer conversations stored in a single platform, Xbox can get instant insights across the full customer journey, all out of the box. So agents and supervisors alike can ensure that Xbox customers can get back to playing games as quickly as possible. Back to you, Charles.
Thanks, Kos. As you saw, with AI deeply embedded in the solution and unified insights across customer interactions, companies will be able to deliver better customer experiences. And despite all the change, people are still at the center of any business. And Dynamics capabilities make that possible in our distributed and increasingly digital world. But we all know that engaging with your customers goes beyond sales or service. To build a hyper-connected business, you need to be able to provide a delightful experience across every customer touchpoint. To share more about how Microsoft is enabling you to do just that, I'll hand it back to Alyssa.
Thanks, Charles. So we talked earlier about the explosion of data and how many companies struggle to manage, organize, and gain insight from the vast quantity of data available to them. For marketers, that struggle gets in the way of delivering the connected, personalized, consistent brand experiences customers have come to expect. That's because the marketing imperative has fundamentally changed. As marketers shift to a more customer-centric model, they're looking to develop 3 key capabilities: personalization, automation, and the customer journey orchestration. That's why at Ignite, we're excited to introduce the Microsoft Customer Experience Platform. This is a complete set of marketing solutions designed to help you view the customer journey truly from end to end. This lets you personalize and connect journeys that deepen relationships with your customers, ultimately driving business growth. Leatherman is using the Microsoft Customer Experience Platform to transform how it builds and strengthens customer relationships. Neha, it'd be great if you can show us these capabilities in action.
Thank you, Alyssa. Leatherman is committed to bringing its customers the best multi-purpose products to help people solve problems in everyday life. From classic multi-tools to pocket knives to custom creations, they believe the right tools can help anyone achieve greatness. And they need to engage their customers effectively to deliver on that belief. What I want to show you today is Claudia's experience with Leatherman. You see, Claudia is a long-time Leatherman customer who's browsing the Leatherman website. When she closes the browser, she receives a personalized email with an offer. This offer is based on her interactions with the website and her recent purchase history. Let's take a look at how Leatherman delivers these intelligent, real-time, individualized experiences for Claudia. As Claudia was browsing the website, Dynamics 365 Marketing was receiving signals about her interests. Because Claudia has a high lifetime value, the journey branches to provide a promotional offer. The built-in AI channel optimizer selects the best method to reach her, be it email, SMS, or push notifications. In Claudia's case, an email is selected and sent to her. Creating personalized emails sometimes can be so daunting. Here, Dynamics 365 Marketing has AI-driven content ideas, which automatically suggest content based on key points Leatherman wants to land. But how did Leatherman determine that Claudia was a high-value customer in the first place? They used predictive customer lifetime value in Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. Let's take a look. Here is a clear representation of how Claudia is engaged with Leatherman. We can see she's a high-value customer. And we can see her recent activities and her purchase frequency since last September. Oh, and these profiles aren't just stuck in a box. All of the data that Leatherman is creating in Customer Insights is synchronized with Azure Synapse so that data scientists and business analysts can build their own analytics and machine learning. But let's see if all of this personalization has actually generated any business impact. You can see here, Claudia's lifetime value is over $143 higher than it was before. So it seems like all of these personalized experiences are really working to engage Leatherman's best customers like her. For organizations like Leatherman, effective customer engagement goes beyond website visits or email marketing. It encompasses every customer touchpoint and draws out data from every customer interaction. With the Microsoft Customer Experience Platform, we can help any organization take charge of their data, create personalized customer experiences, and ultimately strengthen customer relationships. Back to you, Alyssa.
Thanks, Neha. So amazing to see. And the great thing about the Microsoft Customer Experience Platform is the experience doesn't stop with what Neha just showed you. It extends to Dynamics 365 Sales and Dynamics 365 Customer Service, and much more. Within this connected set of solutions, you can orchestrate customer journeys from generating interest to cross-sell and upsell, all the way to ongoing service and support. We've talked today about building a hyper-connected business and how it requires you to think about your business differently, connecting systems, functions, data, and teams that have previously operated independently of one another. And the essential element that brings it all to life is very simple. It's people. We're innovating across the Microsoft Cloud to not only empower every organization, but also every person. One more time, I'll hand it off to Charles to talk about how we're continuing to invest in the problem solvers of the future. Charles, back to you.
Thanks, Alyssa. As change has accelerated and our lives have turned upside down, it's become abundantly clear. Technology is at the heart of modern business. However, we are facing a crisis. There are not enough developers to build the digital solutions that every company needs. We are facing a shortfall of 4 million developers by 2025. And most people cannot write code or organize data. So innovation is forced through the very narrow capacity of dev teams and technology budgets. The demand and backlog for IT professionals is the worst it has ever been, and it keeps getting worse. We need a better way. It's time to empower everyone to be a developer. Every business user needs to be empowered to build solutions alongside IT professionals. That's why we created the Microsoft Power Platform. We're making it easier for all of us to better understand technology and put it to use. Instead of trying to train another 100 million developers, we made the Power Platform accessible to everyone. If you can use Excel or PowerPoint, then you can use the Power Platform. And for IT pros and developers who already know how to code, these tools can help you compose higher-level services with your code as part of the next generation development toolchain. We need to empower everyone to be a problem solver, and that requires new tools. Let's see how one of our customers, T-Mobile, is using the Power Platform today.
T-Mobile created the Orbit app with Power Apps to help track and manage employee-generated initiatives such as marketing campaigns and product ideas. With the recent merger between T-Mobile and Sprint, T-Mobile now needs to manage its operations across 2 IT environments with different systems. As an example, when a new initiative is created in the Orbit app, it must also be updated in a similar initiatives app for Sprint called GTM, which you see here. T-Mobile uses Process Advisor to manage and optimize several of its business processes, including the process time of initiatives that are entered into Orbit. With Process Advisor, organizations like T-Mobile can get detailed information on process times all the way down to each individual process step. With the process step map, as you see it here, T-Mobile developers notice that the processes transferring information from Orbit to GTM is much longer for all regions compared to the Midwest. You can see here the process takes about 1 hour for all regions, but when I navigate to the Midwest, you can see that the same process takes only 3 minutes for the same number of entries. The Midwest region uses robotic process automation capabilities with Power Automate to automatically transfer data from Orbit to GTM, which is causing this significant reduction in processing time. This insight from Process Advisor helps T-Mobile make the decision to implement robotic process automation across the entire company. Here you see the robotic process automation, or RPA process, take place. I make an entry into Orbit. This now triggers the RPA automation, pushing the update to GTM, and the entries here are completed, fully automated. The combination of Process Advisor and Power Automate with RPA enables T-Mobile to optimize this important business process in a very efficient manner. T-Mobile has been exploring more ways to expand its digital transformation efforts with the Power Platform, and they're very keen to allow multiple users to collaborate on the business processes. Collaborative apps enable end users to easily work with each other to complete their projects and stay in the flow of work without needing to switch across multiple apps. And we are excited to now enable Teams chat embedded directly within a Power App. Here you see the Orbit Power App, which includes a rich Power BI project tracker dashboard. If I go to the Orbit Initiative Details pane, I get the summary of this initiative. And you see here that there is a dedicated team working on this initiative. With the new Teams chat embedded into Power Apps, I can start a chat with other team members working on this initiative. If I make a change, I can engage with my teammates in real time to let them know of their proposed change, and we can have a quick chat to discuss if there's any important details of that particular change. This is a very powerful way to work. It enriches the work experience and makes collaboration the heart of every business process, helping support even more productive business outcomes. T-Mobile's developers are also excited about some of the new maker experiences we are launching with Power Platform. Here you see the Orbit app in the Power Apps Modern Designer. One of the cool new features we have added for makers is the ability to comment, similar to how you can leverage editorial comments in the Office apps. This enhances the maker experience, supporting greater collaboration and efficiency during the development process. Additionally, you can mention specific users in the commenting to ensure your comment reaches the right maker. Here, I'm leaving a comment for Charles to address. This new commenting feature is also available in Power Automate and Power Virtual Agents. As I'm sure you can envision, these enhancements to the Power Platform will not only enable better communication between developers, but will also result in faster development times and, at the end of the day, better apps and more streamlined digital transformation.
Thank you, Julie. The innovation Alyssa and I have highlighted here is just the beginning. We have more and more digital surfaces like e-commerce or digital products. We are creating digital twins of everything, from assets to products and to processes. And every company today is trying to figure out how to get the most value from that data, how to use AI to be more predictive and proactive. It's not just about breaking down the silos between data and processes. Nowadays, you also need to break down silos between people, across departments, across the company, and externally with your customers and partners. With the Microsoft Cloud, you have the power to build a hyper-connected business today. Human ingenuity will be the key that brings every organization into the future. We can cultivate and expand that ingenuity, giving people the data-driven, AI-first, collaborative solutions they need to make their impact on the world. The innovations Alyssa and I have just shared, along with the new features and capabilities we'll cover with James Phillips tomorrow, will enable every organization to put people first, create impact faster, and transform with a partner they can trust. Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and the broader Microsoft Cloud make technology more accessible than ever. Now's the time to get started.
Walgreens Boots Alliance is the largest retail pharmacy, health, and daily living destination across the United States and Europe. They have been on a journey to master digital capability, to have increasing engagement with their customers in a direct capacity, while at the same time mastering and nurturing their data estate and treating their data as their most strategic asset. To do this, they need personalization, automation, and a customer journey orchestration capability like no other. I connected with Francesco Tinto, CIO at WBA, to discuss the critical role data plays in enabling a personalized consumer experience and the importance of protecting that data with a trusted technology partner. Hi, Francesco. Thanks so much for being with me here today.
Hi, Jetson. Thanks for having me.
We just finished hearing Alyssa Taylor talk about Microsoft's new customer experience platform. I know that WBA has been deeply invested in this notion of digital autonomy. Tell me why personalization is so critical to your success.
Absolutely, Jetson. So, really, the customer is at the center of every interaction, and that is really allow us to live our purpose, more joyful life through better health. The intent to deliver personalized services, personalized solution, and at the end really to build long-lasting relation with our customer. So the way we really are working is understanding their needs, starting personalizing solution offering, bringing our patient along in the health journey and wellness journey. And in this way, we are informing also the way we are operating internally. The understanding of the customer is bringing new innovation in our product delivery, is bringing as well informing the solution that we are delivering in the digital and in the physical environment.
So data is obviously at the core of everything that you're doing here. And with the challenges around amassing data these days through the demise of the third-party cookie and really some closed ecosystems out there in terms of how data is being managed, how is WBA amassing all of this data to drive personalization for your patients and customers?
Through the loyalty program that we have in Walgreens, the My Walgreens, and the Advantage loyalty program that we have in Boots, we own more than 100 million first data around our consumer. That is really informing us the purchase history, the behavior, and of our patient and our customer, and is giving us the possibility really to build those kind of innovative solutions. The biggest challenge for us is start really creating a single data, a single view of the customer across all these feeds that we receive from our environment, because we are touching our customer through so many channels. So bringing everything together in one single customer identity and have the possibility of understanding the different behavior is crucial for us on the mass personalization. Everything that we do, of course, has always in our mind that we need to protect information from a privacy and security point of view, because we have a major responsibility in the way we manage the information of our customer and our patients.
So you obviously have to harness all of these assets, leverage them for personalization, engage with digital marketing services out there in the global ecosystem, but at the same time protect that as a core asset for WBA. How are you doing that?
We are also managing the healthcare of the person, and this is a big responsibility because we own the information about the patient on their health situation, on their prescriptions. Protecting the data is really paramount. Security and privacy are by design. When we think about the solution, when we are developing a system or we are building a customer journey, the privacy and the security component embedded from the right beginning. Encryption is key. The way we protect our information is key. The number of possible access as well is mandatory in the way we operate.
So trust then is at the core, really. I think at the end of the day, if you're using data to improve the health impact and the wellness of your patients, it's obviously a trust contract that's well served. But how do you think about that deeper data governance and the classification and how you manage the same?
We are truly governing all through policies very deeply the way we access the data. There is a major difference for us between the data related to the retail space versus the data when we touch pharmacy and healthcare. Very strong firewall and guideline that are really separating those kind of information. The same way in which also we are regulated by all the different organizations. We need to be compliance for PCI, compliance for HIPAA, really managing all the iTrust certification as well. So the policy and the way we operate are extremely important.
It's truly impressive how you are leveraging data, continuing that contract of trust with your customers and patients, and at the same time really harnessing digital autonomy to better market and personalize that journey with them of creating better wellness outcomes and better lives. So fantastic work, and thanks so much for sharing it with us.
Hello, and thank you for joining me at Microsoft Ignite. I'm Scott Guthrie, and I lead the Cloud and AI group at Microsoft. Our mission at Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And to achieve this, we're delivering the Microsoft Cloud. The Microsoft Cloud is the most trusted and comprehensive cloud in the world. And you can use it to build, transform, and accelerate your organizations. The Microsoft Cloud is a full stack cloud. It delivers infrastructure capabilities, productivity solutions, business process applications, developer services, and more. You can use each of these capabilities on a standalone basis, or take advantage of the seamless way we've integrated and architected them to work well together, while still providing openness at every layer of the stack. No other cloud offers the breadth and depth of the Microsoft Cloud. And this enables you to accelerate your time to value, reduce your costs, and increase your agility. You can now use the Microsoft Cloud in any of more than 60 data center regions we now have around the world. This is more regions and locations than any other cloud provider. And with the richest in-country data residency support of any cloud provider, the Microsoft Cloud helps organizations achieve their digital capability needs, all while ensuring data compliance and data sovereignty. The Microsoft Cloud is built on trust and security. Trust in our technology, but also trust in our business model that's designed to empower our customers and not compete with them. The Microsoft Cloud is used by organizations of all sizes, from brand new startups to the Fortune 500. In fact, the Microsoft Cloud's already being used to run 95% of the Fortune 500 today. Microsoft and our partner ecosystem are only successful when you're successful, and you can trust us to help accelerate your businesses and organizations. And throughout this conference, you'll hear stories about how many customers are already using our solutions to digitally transform. Now, throughout Ignite this week, there are a variety of great talks that will cover each of the different components of the Microsoft Cloud, as well as the new innovations and improvements that we're announcing this week. And I'm going to spend the rest of this session going deeper on Microsoft Azure. I'm going to talk today about 4 areas of Azure that we're advancing with some great new capabilities. Let's start by talking about hybrid and multi-cloud. Now, when I talk to customers about their cloud strategy and adoption, I often hear that they want the new innovation and agility that the cloud enables, but they also need it to integrate with the existing technology investments within their organizations. They sometimes have dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of servers, applications, and databases that they need to manage across their multiple cloud and on-premises environments. And they sometimes have regulatory or latency reasons why they can't yet move some of these workloads to the cloud. And when they do move workloads to the cloud, organizations increasingly want the flexibility to be able to architect solutions to work across multiple cloud providers. This is why we designed Azure from the beginning to be the most comprehensive hybrid and multi-cloud platform. Azure enables you to seamlessly build, deploy, and manage your workloads literally anywhere. Microsoft has a long history of providing solutions to enterprise customers of all sizes, with our operating systems, database platforms, identity systems, management tools, developer tools, and more. And our decades of experience with these products helped us make key design and architectural decisions when it came to building Azure. With Azure, we enable you to leverage these technologies not just within VMs, but as fully managed cloud services that provide capabilities like high availability, automatic patching, backup, security management, and more. And we provide these types of managed cloud services not just with traditional Microsoft products, but both with Linux, Kubernetes, and open source-based solutions as well. And with Azure Arc, we now make it possible for you to use these managed cloud services literally anywhere and have a consistent way to secure and govern your servers, your applications, and your databases, regardless of where they reside. Let's hear from a customer that's taking advantage of our hybrid and multi-cloud solutions and modernizing their technology estate with Azure Arc.
I'm Vin Tran. I'm the head of cloud engineering here at RBC. The Royal Bank of Canada is the largest bank here in Canada. We've been around for over 150 years. We continue to drive innovation and new capabilities through technology and public cloud to really enable our customers and provide them the best of breed user experience. We were introduced to Azure Arc at a previous Ignite event. It really piqued our interest in its ability to automate deployments and manage our on-prem database. As a Kubernetes-based deployment, it allows us to leverage our existing infrastructure and our investments on-premise and our capabilities and skill set to manage and automate database deployments. Azure Arc-enabled data services has really allowed us to accelerate our time to market and development of our products. It's also allowed us to focus more on the integration of these products and capabilities into our systems than building and securing and managing them ourselves. It's allowed us to reduce our operational overhead, managing on-premise databases at scale.
Azure Arc enables all of this by extending the Azure Management APIs and by providing a rich set of Azure application development, database, AI, virtual machine, and security features that work in any environment, including on-premises, multi-cloud, and edge scenarios. And we're doing it in a way that enables you to confidently invest in a durable set of skills and processes that you can use in Azure or anywhere else, including other cloud providers like AWS and Google. Our goal with Azure Arc is to meet you where you are and to be super flexible with your needs. If you're looking to modernize your data center or edge infrastructure environment, you can choose to take advantage of our Azure Arc and Azure Stack HCI offering. Azure Stack HCI is our hyper-converged infrastructure solution that can run both VM workloads and our first-party Kubernetes platform to enable Azure Arc-enabled services and modern container-based applications. But we also recognize that a lot of you already have existing VMware vSphere-based systems installed and running in your existing environments. And we also now support Azure Arc running on those as well. With Azure Arc, you can secure and manage VMs, Azure application services, databases, and AI capabilities on your existing hardware and VM vSphere environments. And I'm happy to announce that starting today, you can enable your teams to fully manage all of this, including the full lifecycle of VMs on vSphere, all within the Azure Management Portal. And this gives you the power and flexibility to use your Azure skills literally everywhere. This week, we're also announcing several new hybrid and multi-cloud updates. Azure Virtual Desktop is one of the fastest growing services on Azure. Many of you have asked for this to also work in your own data centers because of regulatory and data residency needs. And I'm excited to announce that we're bringing Azure Virtual Desktop to also now work on top of our Azure Stack HCI offering. And we're continuing to update our Azure data services, making available additional management, security, and governance capabilities this week through Azure Arc as well. Now, organizations are also using Azure Arc to build brand new applications and deploy them onto edge hardware environments that haven't previously existed. SKF is a global manufacturer of bearings and seals that operates in over 100 factories in 28 countries around the globe. They needed an edge cloud solution that was able to support distributed development, high availability, scalability, and ease of deployment. And SKF created an architecture running Azure Arc-enabled data services and Azure Kubernetes service on top of Azure Stack HCI hardware within their factories. And this enabled them to make real-time decisions using data AI intelligence at the edge. By extending cloud services to run within their factories, SKF gained operational efficiency, resulting in 40% savings on hardware costs and about 30% reduction in OT-related downtimes of their machinery. Intelligent edge-based solutions like the ones SKF are building are going to become essential in the years ahead. And with Azure and Azure Arc, you now have the services and tools to start building them today. Now, hybrid is foundational to accelerating transformation, and data is key to unlocking new value and enabling new use cases. Microsoft provides the most comprehensive and consistent platform to manage all of your data. We continue to invest heavily to make our database, analytics, and governance products best in class and provide customers with an integrated experience across our data portfolio. As we saw in the SKF and RBC examples, customers can deploy Arc-enabled Azure SQL on any Kubernetes environment, be it on any cloud, obviously including Azure, but others as well as any on-premises environments. This week, we're also announcing the preview of the next version of SQL Server. SQL Server 2022 is the most cloud-enabled release of SQL Server yet. It includes exciting new capabilities that address the needs of data professionals by offering business continuity with built-in DR to Azure, with bidirectional flexibility between our on-premises and cloud services, seamless analytics for your on-premises operational SQL Server data with our Azure Synapse Analytics running in the cloud, full integration with Azure Purview, providing visibility and data access control through a single pane of glass. And SQL Server continues to be an industry leader in security and performance, with the fewest vulnerabilities of any database over the last 10 years, and it consistently scores #1 in broadly recognized industry performance benchmarks. As customers continue to accelerate their cloud adoption, we've seen a clear need for 3 core data capabilities. The first is a database platform that offers the scale and performance needed for any workload. The second is an analytics platform that enables immediate insights from all data. And the third is a unified data governance solution that helps customers manage and govern their data wherever it resides. Azure is the only cloud in the market that offers industry-leading solutions across all 3 capabilities, which are all required to drive successful transformations. A great example of a customer already doing this today is FedEx. FedEx scans millions of packages and receives about 40 billion status messages per day. And they're streaming data into Azure and developing their own AI ML algorithms to gain insights from it. Using IoT devices and other signals, their intelligent edge can facilitate an explosion of data signals and insights. Azure's cloud data services provide instant insights to the FedEx team, allowing them to have greater control over shipment movement, make corrective actions within minutes of anomaly detection, and be able to govern their data no matter where it resides. Now, Azure's database services offer a choice of fully managed relational and NoSQL databases, spanning proprietary and open source engines to fit the needs of modern app developers. We offer these services with literally limitless scale and performance. For example, with Azure SQL DB Hyperscale, you can now scale a single relational database up to 100 terabytes in size, more than any other cloud database in the market. And Azure Cosmos DB is the only database service in the world to offer both 5 nines availability and single-digit millisecond latency SLAs. And with the serverless deployment options we now provide, you only pay for what you use out of these data services. There are no minimum charges and no capacity planning required. Only Azure enables real-time insights on top of your OLTP data with no performance impact to your operational systems, thanks to our new Azure Synapse Link capability. Azure Synapse Link effectively breaks down the silos between your operational and your analytic data systems, enabling you to get real-time insights without complex or costly ETL workflows. As customers look to gain in-the-moment insights on their business and to be agile in today's dynamic business environment, they need a unified experience to ingest, explore, prepare, manage, and serve data for business intelligence and machine learning needs. Azure Synapse Analytics brings together the worlds of data integration, enterprise data warehousing, and big data analytics into a single integrated data service. And Azure Synapse has experienced significant adoption with a 350% increase in consumption year over year. And customers are now performing over 20 million queries per hour against it. And we're building on that momentum today with a preview of the new Data Explorer compute engine in Azure Synapse, which enables streaming and log analytics. We're also announcing the GA of Azure Synapse Link for Dataverse and a preview of it for SQL Server 2022, enabling customers to gain immediate insights from more of their operational and line of business data workloads. Let's now move to governance, a topic that we know is also top of mind for many customers. Azure Purview is our unified data governance service that helps manage and govern on-premises, multi-cloud, and SaaS-based data. It easily creates a holistic, up-to-date map of your data landscape with automated data discovery, data sensitivity classification, and end-to-end data lineage, helping data consumers to find valuable, trustworthy data. Purview has been generally available since September, and we've seen tremendous customer interest and growth with it. Over 57 billion data assets have already been discovered by customers using Azure Purview, running across all of their cloud and on-premises environments. Azure Purview gives you a complete understanding of your data. It scans data from on-premises sources such as SQL Server, Teradata, and SAP, your multi-cloud environments, and SaaS apps as well. Let's take a look at a video that shows how all these innovations and capabilities come together.
Scott talked about the integration of all these systems to provide a unified data and governance experience. Let's take a look at an example. Applications using Dataverse like Dynamics 365 contain rich customer data like account information and sales opportunities. With Synapse Link for Dataverse, you can selectively share that data for analytics without ETL pipelines. In Azure Synapse, I can now query the Dataverse data directly. I can use that data for machine learning with Azure AI, create a Spark notebook, or use SQL. Next, I can join the sales data in Dataverse with the retail application data in Azure Cosmos DB, enabling me to see how the mobile app relates to sales opportunities and get richer insights. Governance is critical, and Purview has been fully integrated into Synapse. I can search for specific words right within Synapse Studio. As I search on opportunities, I'm provided with matching results across my entire data estate. I can select this table, and automated data classifications will flag PII information as sensitive data. Lineage provides a left-to-right view of the Azure Synapse table showing it originated from Dataverse and is being used in Power BI, which is fully integrated, and I can author my reports within my Synapse workspace. What we just saw is how easy it is to get immediate insights from high-value Dynamics data, understand the data sensitivity in Lineage, and produce visuals in mere minutes. That's the power of Azure's end-to-end data platform, providing the capabilities customers need in an integrated, secure, and easy-to-use experience. Back to you, Scott.
As you build new apps going forward, you're going to want them to be cloud native. Cloud native apps are designed to take full advantage of the cloud. They can support new levels of scale and performance and can provide even greater reliability to your customers. Tens of thousands of customers are building cloud native apps on Azure today. This includes organizations like Walmart, Starbucks, HSBC, and their partner PayMe, the National Health Service in the UK, and gaming companies like Krafton. Using cloud-native design patterns has helped each of these organizations achieve the agility, reliability, scalability, and security demanded by their businesses and end users. The ability to quickly scale up or down cloud-native app resources enables organizations of all types to adjust to the dynamic world we live in. And this is needed with every industry right now. Whether it's a gaming launch, COVID-19 related spikes, and shopping peaks such as Black Friday and holiday shipping are just a few examples of the types of highly elastic usage demands that modern apps must address. And the great thing about the cloud and the cloud services we have on Azure is you can build to support cloud-native application patterns easily to handle these spikes and only have to pay for the actual resources that you consume. This gives you even greater agility and enables you to grow your businesses in fundamental new ways. Walmart, the largest retailer in the world, is a great example of a customer on Azure who's doing this. Their e-commerce platform generates billions of dollars in annual revenue, and it grew 79% last year. As they prepare to handle the demanding load of their busiest time of the year, which is Black Friday and the holiday season, they built a cloud-native solution that can provide single-digit millisecond latency and handle billions of daily requests with extremely high availability during their busiest days. This solution is helping transform how Walmart does business. Walmart.com uses our Azure Cosmos DB database as a core service of their cloud-native architecture. Azure Cosmos DB is the only database service in the market to offer SLAs guaranteeing single-digit millisecond latency and 99.999 availability through turnkey geo-replication. And these guarantees are available even if you are executing millions of concurrent transactions a second against a petabyte-sized database. Developers can build new applications while using existing skills by choosing among familiar APIs such as MongoDB and Cassandra. And it's easy to run flexible and low-cost workloads of any size, not just petabyte-sized solutions, but it's also now very cost-effective for small database solutions with low transaction throughput. Kubernetes is another core enabling technology for cloud-native applications. Our Azure Kubernetes service, also known as AKS, is the best way to get fully managed Kubernetes clusters on Azure, with integrations across Azure and the Microsoft Cloud. AKS enables you to provision a fully managed Kubernetes cluster in minutes. With AKS, we've made it easy to take advantage of best practices for Kubernetes. For example, we offer pre-configured templates with enterprise security and policy built in. And Azure Advisor recommendations enable you to get the most out of Kubernetes capabilities, while our Azure Security Center monitors and alerts you about common sources of Kubernetes attacks. AKS also offers integration with developer tooling such as our Visual Studio offerings, as well as code-to-cloud pipelines through both GitHub and our Azure DevOps solutions. Now, Kubernetes offers a tremendous amount of power, but it can also be a little daunting for developers to get started with. And we want to make Kubernetes even easier and more flexible for all of you. Today, we're excited to announce our newest cloud-native offering, which we call Azure Container Apps. Container Apps provides the same microservice benefits as Kubernetes, but runs in a fully managed and serverless platform. This enables teams to start building microservices without having to understand and master the full concepts of Kubernetes. Container Apps enables you to easily start building container-based microservices with just your app code, while giving you the flexibility to choose to upgrade to our full Azure Kubernetes service if and when you're ready to leverage the full power of Kubernetes. Now, Azure Container Apps is just one way we're helping developers and teams deliver with more speed. With technology and software development increasingly at the core of how organizations are transforming their businesses, we recognize that developer velocity is critical to driving overall business performance. Our developer tools like GitHub, Visual Studio, and Power Apps, in combination with Azure, accelerate developer velocity, enabling you to deliver apps faster than ever before. And we're continuing to release major new enhancements and improvements to all of these solutions. Let's talk about two of the great new improvements we've recently released with GitHub. One of the biggest pain points for any development team is the time lost setting up development environments and keeping them up to date. Organizations can now take advantage of GitHub Codespaces to create new developer machines in the cloud. With Codespaces, you can now literally click a button in GitHub and have a full, isolated developer machine provisioned with your code already cloned onto it in under 15 seconds. These are secure, container-based environments hosted in Azure and usable from any machine that only has a web browser. These cloud-hosted developer environments are not only quick to set up, but they also provide much faster performance than the typical laptop or even desktop developer machine. And you can use up to 32 cores of CPUs and 64 gigabyte of RAM available. And a Codespace-based environment automatically shuts down after you stop using it. And you only pay for the time you're actively using them, and there are built-in cost controls for administrators. It provides an ideal way to make developers dramatically more productive. We're also taking the next leap in cloud-based developer productivity with GitHub Copilot, which provides an AI-powered pair programmer that can help you code. Trained on billions of lines of public source code, GitHub Copilot saves you time and helps you stay focused by synthesizing code suggestions right in your editor. GitHub Copilot is context-aware, converting your comments into code or quickly helping you with repetitive coding tasks, all while adapting to your current application and coding style. Copilot is available in technical preview today, and we're adding support for more programming languages all the time. Visit copilot.github.com to learn more and sign up today. Toyota is one of many organizations in the world today who are integrating their professional developers with business domain experts and using this fusion of the two to build even better business solutions. One of the applications Toyota's recently launched is a new vehicle delivery app that is now being used by all Toyota dealerships to verify that vehicles have the accessories correctly installed before a customer takes delivery of the vehicle. Toyota built the API backend of the solution using Azure. Professional developers in Toyota wrote code to implement the API using services like Azure Functions and Azure API Management. Business domain experts in Toyota, who understood the unique needs of the employees in the dealerships, then built the dealership mobile app that called these APIs using Microsoft Power Apps. They then hosted this Power App within Microsoft Teams to enable multi-employee collaboration. The resulting solution is helping Toyota accelerate their business. If you look inside your organization, you'll find lots of business processes today that often involve spreadsheets being passed around over email. Each of these processes can now be automated using the Microsoft Power Platform. And the apps built with Power Apps can easily and securely call any API that your professional developers publish using Azure. Being able to use your low-code and pro-code solutions together enables you to easily go after the long tail of apps within your organizations and unlock tremendous business value, as you saw Toyota just did. And Microsoft's unique in having all of the tools and cloud solutions necessary to go after this app gap. Fusion Teams refers to cross-functional teams made up of developers, business experts, and IT admins that come together to build business solutions. The Microsoft Cloud enables you to leverage the knowledge and skills of experts across all these different areas of your organization and to come together to build great solutions together. With the Microsoft Power Platform, you have the richest suite of low-code, no-code tools available. You can use them to connect to Office 365, Dynamics 365, Azure, and literally hundreds of other SaaS apps without having to write even a single line of code. There's built-in connectors for all of them. And with Azure, Visual Studio, and GitHub, you can build and host code that provides any custom API functionality needed by your Power Platform solution. Being able to use the Power Platform and Azure together gives you the ability to dramatically accelerate the delivery of business solutions. This week at Ignite, we're announcing several great improvements to our Fusion Team offerings. One of the improvements is a new Power Apps pay-as-you-go licensing model on Azure. This enables you to build and deploy Power Apps throughout your organization without having to buy a Power App subscription ahead of time for each employee who wants to use them. Instead, you can just use your existing Azure subscriptions and pay only when the Power Apps you build are actually used by an employee. This takes a lot of friction out of using Power Apps and makes it easier for organizations to get started and scale without having to buy any licenses up front to do so. We're also enabling you to distribute Power App mobile apps natively. This means you can now use Power Apps to build and release standalone native apps in the iOS and Android app stores that are branded and look just like any other native mobile app. This gives you ultimate flexibility to build enterprise apps that look and feel just like consumer experiences and further reinforce your organization brand. And we're really excited to see the great new solutions you build with all these new capabilities. Now, I covered a lot of things today, and I want to close where we started. No other cloud offers the breadth and depth of what the Microsoft Cloud provides. And with Microsoft Azure, you can innovate anywhere, from hybrid, multi-cloud, and the edge. Be sure to check out more of our Microsoft Ignite Into Focus sessions this week, where you hear more about the great new innovations happening across our infrastructure, application development, and data and AI solutions. I hope you enjoy the rest of Ignite, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you build. Thanks so much.
So for my next conversation, I'm thrilled to introduce Christina Kramer, CIBC's Senior Executive Vice President for Technology, Infrastructure, and Innovation, and Richard Jardim, the Executive Vice President and Chief Information Officer. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So Christina, let's start with you. You have a cloud-first strategy. Tell us how you got to that strategy and why it's so important to you.
So CIBC's growth strategy, we believe, is dependent on our cloud-first approach. It enables us to simplify, to modernize, enables us to become more efficient,
to accelerate innovation and respond faster. And also we can build in security, so secure by design, compliant by design, and resilient by design. And we're already seeing lots of benefits of it. We're enabling new collaboration opportunities with partners in our ecosystem as well as outside of our ecosystem. We are bringing to bear new market-leading capabilities for our clients. We believe it'll help our overall growth strategy focused on our purpose to enable our clients to achieve their ambitions.
That's awesome. And tremendous amount of complexity to navigate, especially in a highly regulated industry. I applaud you being so bold and leading forward with all of it. Richard, maybe you could talk a little bit about how you manage all of it.
So if I step back a little bit, the hybrid cloud strategy for CIBC has been in the works for a few years. And now we're doubling down with the big agreement with Microsoft on going sort of public cloud at scale with Azure. And so we have a multi-cloud construct. And also that's mixed in, as you can appreciate with a bank, with all our legacy infrastructure like mainframe technology, which isn't going anywhere. But we look at it as a whole portfolio where we can actually manage all the components and pieces under one umbrella. So even our risk and control framework is on top of all of that infrastructure, whether it's cloud or non-cloud. Cool. The second bit is when you look at our actual cloud footprint, we actually look at the profile of those applications and we actually pinpoint which ones are suitable to private cloud, which ones will be pushed more to a SaaS ASP model depending on the business functionality required, or which ones go to public cloud and Azure. So it's big. The last thing too is we want to have that single pane of glass for our engineers, our support folks, our infrastructure folks. And that's where we see new tools like Microsoft Art that could help reduce our risk around managing these highly complex environments.
Yeah, that's great. So maybe we'll build on this multi-cloud thread just a little bit by talking about the data, because harnessing the data estate, leveraging it to make sure that you're driving some efficiencies around what would otherwise be manual processes, also a big boost for you all. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
One thing we really look at with our data footprint at the bank is, again, multiple systems, where there's vendor applications, proprietary applications. Data is everywhere. And so we've made some very conscious decisions at the bank to simplify how we approach data. Real-time data is becoming increasingly important, as you can appreciate. So cloud plays a key role in that ability to consume the data easier and to make it real-time available for things like client insights. So we've spent quite a lot of investment over the last couple of years on improving our client insights, using AI, accessing the data we have at our fingertips, and then be able to provide that advice back to clients. One of the other things we look at as well is if you think about the multiple environments we have, there's again this complexity of being able to have that single view of managing all that data. Some of the analytical tools, Synapse, for example, is super helpful. The main thing here is innovation is going to be driven off how well we monetize our data and how quickly we can use that data to the benefit of our clients.
That's exactly why we've built the Microsoft data strategy and our cloud data services the way you described, so that you can harness the power of your relational estate through your SQL and Azure SQL Server assets. You can harness your unstructured data through Cosmos, and then your cloud scale analytics with Synapse, and then bring it all together with Synapse Link. Combining that with the power of Azure Arc is a fantastic way to think about threading the needle on maintaining a hybrid cloud strategy and harnessing really the full power of a true data estate. Maybe we switch gears a little bit, because one of the other big challenges in this pursuit to becoming a digital company is the talent gap. Christina, why don't you talk a little bit about this?
Well, I mentioned earlier a bunch of benefits that we saw with being cloud first, and talent is one of those benefits. It gives us an opportunity to really invest in our teams and invest in capability development and provide the ability for them to take different courses. And since July, we've had over 2,000 courses completed by our team members. And we've done that with Microsoft and with the Azure experts to transfer some of the learnings and transfer some of the capabilities so we can build them in-house and build that capability across the organization. And that speaks to democratizing, the learning and the capability development. So Whether it's skill building within our development shops or citizen development, Cloud First is about developing our enterprise capabilities in cloud and skill development.
Well, that's fantastic. Honestly, that's sort of the best of both worlds. You can provide fantastic tools to elite developers and pro developers, and then the right kind of tools for citizen devs, and then bring the two together in a collaborative format. Look, we couldn't be more proud to be your technology partner, and we're really thankful for the investment of time and effort and energy you've put into the partnership. Thank you both for being with me.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thanks.
We're getting closer. In many parts of the world, workplaces are reopening. And while some couldn't work from home, millions discovered they could do their jobs remotely with Microsoft technology. Hybrid work is here to stay. Ensuring we can do it safely and securely is a challenge we will overcome together. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you've joined us for Microsoft Ignite. I'm coming to you from the brand new Microsoft Silicon Valley campus in Mountain View, California. We aren't fully back in the office yet. Like everyone else, we are embracing hybrid work, which brings new experiences, new opportunities, and new security challenges. Securing an organization has never been simple. But with hybrid work and the increased surface area for digital attacks, it's so much harder now for organizations in every sector and of every size. The frequency and sophistication of cyber events has increased dramatically. We see headlines every day now of phishing schemes, of ransomware and nation-state attacks. And as personal devices become an essential part of the corporate network, a powerful identity solution is critical. Now, the wonderful thing is that we can leverage the Microsoft Cloud, the most comprehensive and trusted cloud, to build end-to-end, best-in-breed security solutions that are ubiquitous and composable. Security for everyone and everything. Protection across clouds and platforms and devices so customers can stay in the flow. The Microsoft security team builds solutions from the endpoint to the cloud across security, compliance, identity, device management, and privacy management. They work together and simplify the complex. And when you add industry-leading AI, automation, and expertise, you can catch threats others miss from outside or inside your organization. And with the peace of mind that comes with that kind of comprehensive security, you are free to grow, to create, and to innovate. Daily, I hear examples of organizations across all industries using Microsoft solutions to be fearless in the face of growing threats. A perfect example is HCA Healthcare, one of the largest hospital and healthcare facility organizations in the United States. Now, what stands out to me about HCA is how the organization's commitment to patient care extends beyond the hospital room all the way to their cyber defense center. Take a look.
I love my job. Ever since day one, I've had a huge passion for cybersecurity and protecting people. That's all it comes down to. HCA Healthcare is a healthcare company that is committed to the improvement and care of human life. When I walked in that morning, there was a little bit more chatter in the room, so I knew it was probably not going to be our business as usual morning. I learned that someone clicked on a link they probably shouldn't have clicked on. As with any security event, first we want to find the root cause, then we want to find the impact and isolate that device in order to make sure that whatever is on that machine is stopped and it cannot spread. The first thing that goes through our mind is the ability to take care of our employees and our patients. Whenever we have a patient out in our facility, the last thing that I want them to worry about is their information safety. I was called on to lead the response team. Fortunately, we have a robust tool set, and Microsoft Defender is one of them. Defender was a great tool to use because it gave us immediate visibility into the endpoint in its timeline, which helped in the investigation process. It also allowed us to take action against the endpoint and then also isolate it if we needed to, and all of that with great speed. Defender actually elevated our capabilities to investigate this machine. Just like any other industry, the reality is we all have to deal with cybersecurity and we have to be prepared for it. By working together with Microsoft, we're able to acquire and share information between both parties that helps us deal with these events. Those relationships and collaborations make all the difference.
I love how our partnership is helping HCA live its mission. In just a little bit, Microsoft's Chief Commercial Officer, Judson Althoff, will sit down with HCA's Chief Security Officer to talk more about how they rely on Microsoft security solutions. Their proactive approach to security underscores the reality that cybersecurity is a risk for everyone, not just for large enterprise and government organizations. In fact, security remains one of the top concerns and the most challenging responsibilities facing small and medium-sized businesses today. According to recent reports, 1/3 of all cyber attacks target small businesses. And after being attacked, 61% of small organizations are left unable to operate. The simple truth is, small and medium business customers have resource and budget constraints and often don't have the specialists to help them deal with attacks. Yet, they need to be able to fortify their security just as much as large organizations like HCA. That's why today, I'm so pleased to announce Microsoft Defender for Business, an endpoint security solution that helps protect small and medium-sized businesses with up to 300 employees against cybersecurity threats. That includes malware and ransomware across Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and Android devices. Now, what Microsoft Defender for Business does is bring together preventive protection, post-breach detection, and automated investigation and response. How cool is that? Combine that with tools that help you manage software vulnerabilities and misconfigs, and you have a powerhouse protection solution at a cost-effective price. Microsoft Defender for Business is easy to deploy and manage, all while providing maximum security value. It delivers an integrated experience with existing Microsoft Cloud solutions for productivity and security, and helps small and medium-sized businesses reduce cost and complexity. It will be available to customers as a standalone solution and will also be included in Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Preview is coming soon, and this is going to be a real game changer for so many small and mid-sized organizations. Now, of course, Microsoft Defender for Business is big news, but it's not the only security headline at Ignite today. We have some other really exciting developments with Microsoft's threat protection solutions. So let's head to the Microsoft Ignite studios in Redmond, where Jeff Dubois is standing by with more of these headlines. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Sue. So cool to hear about Defender for Business, and not just for smaller organizations, but for Microsoft partners too, because they'll be deploying the solution for many customers. And as I understand it, Defender for Business also works with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, so you'll be able to view security events across your customers from the Lighthouse portal. Okay, in other threat protection news, you may remember last spring at Ignite, we shared how we were unifying two key components of Microsoft's threat protection solutions, our cloud-native security information and event management solution, our SIEM, Microsoft Sentinel, and Microsoft Defender, our extended detection and response tool. This is really about bringing two incredible tools together to help customers fortify their defense against the growing attack surface. The integration gives organizations a bird's eye view of an incident with Sentinel's AI and automation capabilities, and then allows you to investigate and resolve incidents through Defender. And there's no other security vendor that can bring you better visibility and faster response times with SIEM and XDR integration like this. No one. Today, we're announcing the next step in that integration, bidirectional incident detection and response between Sentinel and Defender. It will now be easier for users to get the full context around an incident and even close that incident from either tool. And on top of that, in Sentinel, there are a bunch of new updates to help security operations teams be more efficient, more effective across the full life cycle of an incident. And I want to share a couple of the big updates with you. First, we've developed a new content hub with more than 100 solutions that help organizations collect data from any source, like data connectors and workbooks that help uncover security weaknesses or gaps. And we've added new integration into Sentinel with Azure Synapse, so you can tap into the power of big data analytics and machine learning models for deeper insight into threats and attacks. Really exciting news across the board, unleashing the power of both there. Now, there are a couple other big headlines we'll cover in more detail coming up about Microsoft Defender for Cloud and Defender for IoT. Those two solutions really speak to how Microsoft Security is building protection across the clouds and edge. We're talking Microsoft Security integration with AWS workloads and protection for enterprise IoT devices. All of those details in just a little bit. Vasu?
Thanks so much, Jeff. It's really exciting stuff. Now, I want to shift gears a little and follow up on something Satya shared earlier today about boundaryless collaboration and the security layer that is changing the way we work together. With hybrid work, we need to always be thinking about ways to bring teams closer together with the people they work with inside and outside their organization. And to do that safely, we need to re-envision our identity and security solutions so they establish the right level of trust. This is critical work. And to talk more about how we're thinking about identity solutions for today and tomorrow, I am thrilled to bring in Joy Chick, Corporate Vice President of Identity and Network Access. Joy, thank you so much for being here today.
It is great to be here, Vasu.
So Joy, securing hybrid work is really challenging a familiar security paradigm, protecting the boundary between your organization and the outside world. That approach just doesn't work anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. And the hybrid work is making that really clear. Customers know the way we collaborate has changed. For example, the data has shown us 86% of business leaders collaborate externally, and 35% of them use at least one personal application. That is very scary, right? And many customers think to collaborate externally, I will just expand my security perimeter. But with so many partners, alliances, and mergers, things get complicated really fast. So we need to shift this mindset. It is not about perimeters. Instead, you have to start with zero trust principles and answer 3 questions about your users. Who are you? What do you need to do? And how much do I trust you right now? And this is where identity comes into play. It is becoming your organization's trust fabric for all relationships, employees, partners, customers, or even workloads and services.
I so love that, Joy. And I know that your team has been working side by side with Microsoft Teams engineering. Identity plays a really key role with Teams Connect, doesn't it?
Yes, identity is so central to Microsoft Teams Connect experience. Azure AD underpins shared channels in Teams. You can collaborate using your work identity from any organization, or admins can establish a trust relationship between 2 companies so that all employees on both sides can collaborate seamlessly. Just imagine, IT never has to create another account for an external partner. And partners can use their own identities so that they can stay in their workflow without having to switch between accounts. Security leaders also get a peace of mind. Azure AD has the granular access controls that can apply the right security policies in real time for anyone, both internally and externally.
And that level of collaboration is available with Teams Connect today, correct?
Yes, it is. Very exciting for us.
Gosh, it's so exciting to push the boundaries of collaboration outside of an organization's perimeter. So Joy, what's the next big thing for identity?
We are building identity to be the trust fabric, not only for organizations, but also for the entire digital ecosystem. First, we are making big investments in platform resilience and security. I have lots of news to share on that front in my session later today. Next, as you know, one of the things that people trust least is their password. In September, we announced that Microsoft account users can now delete their passwords altogether, and we're helping commercial customers go passwordless as well. Plus, we're going big on multi-cloud. Of course, Azure AD today already connects all apps, supports multi-platforms and devices, but we're going even further. For example, in my session, we will show how CloudKnox, our recent acquisition, can manage permissions for human and non-human identities across all clouds, including AWS, GCP, and VMware. And finally, we have groundbreaking solutions like verifiable credentials. It provides a new and verified form of identity for digital transactions. You can already try this today, actually. And there is just so much more coming soon.
Simply wow. Amazing, exciting. What a time for identity. I know that you and your amazing team will keep pushing that envelope and bring incredible ideas to life. Joy, thank you so much for being here, for being my partner in crime, for sharing your perspectives. It's truly such an honor. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Vasu, for having me today. It's great to be here.
Now, it's exciting to imagine a world where boundaryless collaboration is the standard, where data, information flow freely, but securely and with privacy prioritized. So let's talk about privacy. Privacy is critical. Safeguarding sensitive, personal data builds trust with customers and with employees. Plus, it helps organizations be confidently compliant with regulations, laws, and their own policies. That's why we recently announced Privacy Management for Microsoft 365, which will help organizations build a privacy-resilient workplace. Now, not only does this solution build trust, it helps you identify critical privacy risks, automate privacy operations, and empower employees to be smart when they're handling sensitive data. Data protection, privacy, trust, they're all interconnected, and they lead to stronger collaboration and productivity. I'm so incredibly proud to say the Microsoft security team is continuously innovating to enable industry-leading protection from the inside out. For example, new enhancements within Microsoft Information Protection that bring more security to your Microsoft 365 data. So you can share, co-author, and edit encrypted files without worrying about unintentionally exposing information. You can also support a positive work culture in Microsoft Teams with new communication compliance features that detect sensitive or offensive content being shared from inside or outside your organization. And we can help you reach the highest level of privacy for your most sensitive workloads by encrypting data in use with Azure Confidential Computing. In partnership with Intel and AMD, you can now move existing workloads to Azure and make them confidential. So these are all examples of how we've integrated data security across the entire Microsoft cloud, where you can set a sensitivity label once and have it remain with the data, whether it's shared in email, stored in a database, or used by an app you built with the Power Platform. Now, of course, we believe modern security should be cloud native and AI-based, so it works for you everywhere at scale. And it should be extensible to a broad ecosystem of clouds and platforms and devices, because customers want to and need to have choice. That's why we're so excited to share today enhanced security capabilities for multi-cloud environments. Microsoft Defender for Cloud now supports AWS environments with the same native experience for cloud security management and workload protection they get with Azure. Connecting AWS is now seamless, so security teams can make sure their configuration follows industry best practices and regulatory standards. And we are also extending our protection capabilities to Amazon's Kubernetes service for improved workload coverage. So with these new enhancements, you'll now have a holistic view of your security state across clouds. That is true multi-cloud security. Certainly big news there, but there are so many other ways we are bringing security solutions to life across clouds and platforms. So for more announcements, I want to toss it back over to Jeff Du Bois in the Microsoft Ignite studio in Redmond. Jeff?
Thanks, Vasu. Really cool news there about Defender for Cloud. And let's not forget about securing our SaaS apps across different clouds and platforms. Microsoft Defender for Cloud apps now has a new application governance capability that helps you identify, alert, and protect against risky behavior across data, users, and applications. Plus, Defender for Cloud apps helps you secure more than 26,000 cloud applications covering all major cloud app use cases. Okay, as you know, recent ransomware attacks like the ones this year that shut down production for the Colonial Pipeline operator and a global food processor highlight the challenge of securing IoT devices and operational technology, or OT devices. Defender for IoT already protects OT devices in critical industries like manufacturing, energy and water utilities, and oil and gas. But today we're extending that solution to monitor enterprise IoT devices like VoIP phones, conferencing systems, and building automation. And this is a big deal because those channels can often be attractive access points for bad actors. They're often unpatched, misconfigured, and unmonitored. And here's another critical piece of integration that we've been working on. To bring IoT protection into the same workflow as the rest of your extended detection and response, we're making every Defender for Endpoint instance a sensor for discovering IoT devices, alerting on IoT security events, and bringing those events into the Microsoft 365 Defender console. This is all about strengthening your ability to manage the attack surface area across every device. Deep integration there. Now, switching over to some multi-platform news around our unified data loss prevention offering. Up until now, Microsoft Endpoint Data Loss Prevention was only available for Windows endpoints. But we're now extending the solution to millions of additional users by adding support for Mac OS. In other words, customers on multiple platforms can now identify and protect sensitive content like credit cards, medical documents, IP, virtually anything they categorize as sensitive. They can set the policy one time in the Compliance Center and know that the content can't be copied, printed, shared, or saved without defined permissions. And thinking more broadly about managing endpoints, we're expanding the breadth of Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Users will now be able to manage Linux desktops. And with that expansion, organizations can now apply and manage security policies and configure conditional access from Azure Active Directory across devices on any platform: Windows, iOS, Mac OS, and now Linux. A lot of great new enhancements and capabilities there. And for more details on these new features and many more, be sure to check out the security breakout sessions today and on demand, even after Microsoft Ignite. Vasu, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It's great to hear all the updates and new capabilities that bring tighter security across clouds and platforms and devices. I so love all our expansions from the edge, OT, IoT, to the cloud, end to end. Now, you've heard a lot today about Microsoft's comprehensive approach to security, but I thought I'd bring this back to some fundamentals. Everything we've just shared is based on a zero-trust philosophy, a proactive mindset that assumes all activity, even by known users, could be an attempt to breach systems. Given the multitude of business risks today, inside and out, zero trust is no longer an option, it's a business imperative. The principles of zero trust: verify explicitly, provide least privilege access, and always assume breach, are the cornerstone of effective protection and the foundation for comprehensive security. They help organizations develop a critical component of success today: resilience. Organizations must be resilient to thrive in today's complex and competitive world. And security is key to your resilience. It's not just about protecting yourself from outside security breaches. We're reminded every day that business risk comes in many forms. And at the end of the day, protecting yourself from one while leaving yourself vulnerable to another is not really effective security. That's why Microsoft is helping organizations take a comprehensive approach: security, compliance, identity, management, and privacy, all part of an interconnected whole, working together beautifully, extending protection to all data and all devices, all identities, all platforms and clouds. This comprehensive end-to-end approach and the work of the defenders at Microsoft and within your own organization empower people and organizations to do more, to be safe, and to be fearless.
In a small office at Cape Canaveral, 100 meters beneath the French-Swiss border, across every corner of the world, you don't know where you'll find them, and they don't mind that at all. The quietly fearless. They empowered a rover on Mars. They allow physics to be rewritten. They make the world safe for people to be who they are. They do what they need to, end to end, without compromise. Quietly. Behind the General Assembly, behind the cures, behind the advancements, behind virtually everything that happens in the world today. Security's front lines. Invisible, indispensable. The world may not see you, but we do.
For my final conversation, I sat down with Jason Barnett, Chief Information Security Officer of HCA Healthcare. We talked about the realities that digital businesses across all industries have greater vulnerabilities, and at the same time, bad actors have not slowed down. With almost 200 hospitals and over 2,000 sites of care, HCA is a world-leading healthcare organization committed to patient care and the improvement of human life. I think we can all learn a lot from Jason and his team, who have been bullish that security is foundational. Hey Jason, thanks for being with me here today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So you sit across so much of a protected set of data assets and empower a whole bunch of people across a vast network of hospitals to take care of patients and do so securely. Maybe you could talk a little bit about your security strategy, how you've thought about it over the last 18 months.
We're an organization that's fiercely dedicated to making sure that that patient care experience is excellent. That's at the center of all of the decisions that we make. Talking about a strategy as a whole, Zero Trust is top of mind for us. It's a foundational component of everything that we do. And as the landscape has changed in our world, we've got great support from our leadership. We're brought in early. I'm super thankful for that. And it gives us an opportunity to try to innovate and design our security approach along with the new solutions that the company is deploying to our hospitals. Specifically around the pandemic, I think we were in a pretty good place because it was a big priority for us, and being able to secure our endpoints in a way that if they weren't on-prem, we still felt good about our security posture. We're fortunate enough that we've got a solid enough infrastructure for people that needed to work from home, work remotely, but at the same time, we still had a lot of healthcare heroes that were going into the hospitals every day to focus on what they do best.
We've been really privileged to partner with you across an identity strategy, an endpoint strategy, an event and incident management strategy. You're a big user of Microsoft Defender, and Vasu shared with the audience earlier about some of the enhancements we're making to Defender. We now support many different heterogeneous environments that, of course, our customers have trusted us to protect the Microsoft estate for many, many years, but we're really pushing into a space where customers like HCA can depend on Defender across the board. Share from your perspective the value of all of those integration points.
We want to operate in a best integrated type of environment. It's difficult to manage a lot of different technologies and systems when they don't integrate well. We want to decrease complexity by getting rid of old technology. Our experience with Defender has been great. The way that it integrates across the rest of the Microsoft security stack that we're still implementing, everything is available through one console, through this mythical single pane of glass that a lot of operators have longed for over the years. It's allowed us to resolve problems more quickly. It's allowed us to make our SOC analyst or security operations centers analyst a little more comfortable with how they respond to an event. It's also put us in a position where we don't have to rely on technology resources out in our facilities, our divisions, to try to help us solve problems. We can do that from one location. And I'll also say the speed of deployment. You know, we rolled out nearly 300,000 endpoints in less than a quarter, and typically that's unheard of at that kind of scale.
No, it's awesome to hear. And again, we appreciate the opportunity to be able to partner with you so closely, and we've learned a lot from you and the experience as well. Like you mentioned the complexity of HCA several times, and I'll just sort of maybe pull on that thread a little bit. Over 2,000 sites, nearly 300,000 colleagues. How do you balance the need to make sure they all have the information, the access they need when they need it, and at the same time securing the estate across all of those different entities?
You're right, it's a challenge. While it's my primary focus and our team's primary focus, it's still a function of everybody in the organization. It's a shared responsibility by everyone, and we're constantly trying to reinforce what it means to be a good steward of our information assets and what they can do to protect them. So there's always a people element in the security space. From a technology perspective, we always try to build in layers, and you know, from the network all the way up to the devices that the users are interfacing with on a regular basis. My goal is really to try to make that invisible, allowing our caregivers to continue to be productive without being burdened by some kind of a security control or a pop-up. You know, it's something that we need to be able to do as an information security team for HCA Healthcare.
I love the way you said that. I mean, we talk about the Microsoft cloud being the most trusted and comprehensive cloud in the industry, and security is the foundation of all of that. And thank you, Jason, really for being with us here today to share your experiences.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to the studio. There is a ton to unpack from what we just saw, so make sure you keep it here, because in about half an hour, we're going to be deep diving into all the news and announcements we just heard in our first Microsoft Ignite Into Focus, featuring industry experts Mary Jo Foley, Paul Thurrott,